than I expected or wanted it to be, but you know, life has a way of doing the things for you that you don't want to do, right? So, before we get too deep into the title subject, which would be Lionsgate, um, I said last night, I was like, yo, it's Leo season, shoot your shot, walk with confidence, blah, blah, blah. And I think the other side of Leo must be sabotage, right? Because I'm feeling a lot of self-sabotage lately, and that's something I've always worked on, but felt I had pretty under control up until this very second, it feels like. Um, so maybe that's the evolved versus the unevolved is confidence versus sabotage, self-confidence versus self-sabotage, and that's a Leo for you. That's something I just thought about. Anyways, I figured we could get into the Lionsgate's business. Last year, me and the dear Miss Jupiter did a live on Instagram, which you can check out on my old account, the Illy Millie one. If you want to follow my recent account, it's Illmistex. I feel like weird telling people to follow me on Instagram. It feels so personal, you know? It's like, I actually don't. Follow my old account, watch all my old public content. Leave me alone nowadays, right? Kidding. Why would I be doing this if I wanted to be left alone, you know? Conflicting personalities / placements. You know? My Taurus sun is like, please don't bother me unless you want to provoke the villain in me. And the Aquarius moon is like, no, we must do this for the good of humanity. And my Scorpio rising is like, always fucking camera ready. That's why I got the Scorpio necklace on, right? Leo season. I'll just be saying that shit. And man, I look good in red, which not even a favorite color of mine. Just look good in it. I think that's a Scorpio placement thing. I think all Scorpio placements probably look amazing in red. So I've been mixing like lavender with my weed, and I highly do not recommend that shit. I feel like the come down from the lavender is way worse than weed would ever be, unless you're doing like mass amounts of concentrates or something. Fuck hell. No shit, not fun. I literally like just did that, and I'm like getting like a headache already. Man. I also, I will admit, I had a bit of an emotional day, and it was a little like not my regularly scheduled type of emotional day based on my, you know, whole situation. But it's funny because I was like, what is it then? Just me needing to do things and say things no matter how they come out, or because I won't do them again, it turns into self-sabotage. If I can't move forward confidently, then I will sabotage the spot that I'm in. I think that's a Leo season realization or occurrence, right? Because then I checked in with one of my other kind of spiritual friends, and she was like, no, the energy has been wild. And thus bringing us to the subject back to Lionsgate. This is such a funny thing where I feel like I didn't even hear about it until like 3 years ago. And there's like so much speculation on whether or not it's a good or a bad thing. And I feel like I just lean into it being good and being what I want it to be, you know? Because it always does feel like a very transformative time in my life, coincidentally. It seems like there's always something very important happening during that time. And so in the last 3 years, when I was more conscious of it, I was putting efforts into stating what I wanted. Because, right, what even is it, right? They say Lionsgate is like this portal that opens during Leo season. But some people think it's more of a ritualistic, human type, sacrificial gate, if you will. And others think it's a spiritual, you know, based on the star Osiris type thing. So I think it's more or less something that happens cosmically, and like everything else can be used for good or evil. And one's perception of good and evil may vary. So I lean into it being a good thing because I like Leo season. I typically like Leos. I don't mind Leo energy. I think they're a pretty solid fire sign. Probably the most solid fire sign because they're a fixed sign, right? That's like the whole point. But I'm all about the shoot your shot, looking good, feeling fine, summertime, maybe wine, little party action, right? Like Leo season it's peak summer. Like no wonder Leo is the heart. Or maybe it's because Leo's the heart, keeping the body warm and all that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But that's why it's interesting that there's like all this kind of like emotional turmoil coming up. Maybe just for me, but like I said, I checked in and it seems like a little bit of a universal thing going on. And I wonder if that's more the specific event of Lionsgate opening, which happened, I believe it was like July 26th, and it stays open until August 12th, which times really well for me because, like, perhaps it's not a coincidence for someone 30 years ago, but my little project's release date is August 11th. And so I really like that because you're like sending shit into the portal because you're asking for something to come out on the other side, basically, right? From what I understand. I'm not a professional, I'm an expert, right? So I can't back any of the things I say other than I went out of my way during this time for the past 3 years to tune in and check it out. That's where we're at, Lionsgate, right? Something just said to me, it's all about wealth. I have been kind of digging the fire colors lately, like reds, oranges. Even today, I almost wore pink, and I was like, no, I'm gonna wear red. Like it's still Leo season, even though that's typically not something I totally love. But again, I'll get it red because I'm Scorpio rising. I'm just feeling that kind of energy of passion, but of course, colors like yellow and gold, often associated with wealth. I feel like it's a very powerful movement. It's like a motion. I shouldn't say a movement, but oh my God, hi. Do you also look good in red? And if you don't know the answer to that, it's probably yes. You should get some red clothes. You should get like a nice red button up or some red shoes or fuck it, go burgundy pants. Because you're Scorpio. So I bet you look good in red. Talking about Lionsgate. So like best wishes, biggest hopes, biggest dreams, put it in the machine, see what cranks out, but make sure that you're working, right? So that the results are not as they may vary, but in the way you intended them, right? Which you can only have control if you put in the work and if you like actively seek to do it. Holy shit, that's so cool. What's up? I was just babbling because there really wasn't anybody here. So we can talk about whatever. If you want to pick a deck, I can pull some cards. If you want to know more about this Lionsgate business, I don't know that much more. I just remember last year I was on a witches retreat and I talked to John Lennon a bunch, and it was a really amazing feeling. And I tried to talk to Jerry Garcia, and he was like, probably pass on that. And I was like really upset. But that's when I realized I could never ask anyone to talk to me, even if they're dead, which was a great lesson. And I think I've connected with him in other ways prior anyway. So who's to say? Why be upset? And then the year before that, transitional period, started a relationship around that time, I think. Yeah. The year before that, I was having a lot of fun. It was the Echo Park Rising. The year before that, I was in Taos, which is the vortex. So you know what I'm saying? It's definitely like I notice a pattern around this time, and it's always really good. And my cycle data is always a little off in July, which is interesting because it's like some kind of reset, whether it's cosmic, divine, or some kind of man-made ribbon time. It's fun to find out. It's fun to see how it goes. Fun to see what happens. So maybe because we're going based on a color scheme, I should pick my tarot decks based on the color scheme, because I've been like, I don't even know what cards to pull sometimes. Like, I don't even care. It's not that I love talking, it's just that I can talk, right? I guess I enjoy a good conversation, but it's different when you're not really conversing with anyone. Okay, so we can just get the orange deck, right? Good start. And then we can even do like, this is still orange, right? I've been working on this album kind of like for not even, I'm covering the thing, okay? I kind of made it a known thing, but subtly, right? Haven't really fully addressed it because it's not done yet. So it's like, I don't want to get it too hype. I don't want to say too much. I've already probably said too much, whatever. Working on this album. Part of working on it is learning it because it's a cover, right? And so I just like listen to it. I don't know. I would probably guess that in the past 4 months since I decided to work on this album, that I've listened to it easily 1,000 times. And I swear to God, anytime there is a moment of silence, a song will start playing from this. There's only 10 songs, man. It's just on in my head all the fucking time. All of the time. So if anybody does have any requests for the type of reading they want tonight, I can review the types of decks that I have. But for now, we are sticking to the color scheme, okay? And we're going with orange. I don't have any red. Something is upside down. Whoa, this whole pile's upside down. Whoa. Okay. I'm seeing, wow. Okay. Listen. I'm not, okay. Listen. First of all, I do hang out with toddlers like every day of my life, so sometimes the repeating gets to me too. But sometimes I'm also so stunned by the things that happen that I glitch a little, you know? Imagine just learning how to talk and you're like, yeah, I get it. But also, I just said okay so many times because I'm literally in shock because there's so many things that came to me all at once when this pile fell. Because one, my head is still ripping and roaring. It's like yesterday was a high pollen day, but today was not. It felt like allergies, and now it's like, oh my God, what even is that, bro? Like, what is that? Perhaps it's this Lionsgate nonsense. Perhaps I feel that portal being open and looking into it and seeing me on the other side of it, or some version of me that exists, right? What an intense feeling. So I see this pile come out, face up, in reverse. And the first one is the Eon in reverse. So Judgment in reverse, that's like a good thing. Second one's the Empress, okay? And then I'm looking down the row, and it's all good and bad. It's like every other one is good and every other one is bad, right? And instantly, I knew what that meant. Because literally earlier today, I could not help but think to myself, and even said out loud at one point, I absolutely would go back and change things. Like, absolutely I would. In that moment, without question, I just thought, yeah, I'd go back and change a lot. I would have avoided so many things. Like, I would have done it so differently. Like, I don't care where the fuck this goes. That's always been my thing. Like, I've reaped not such a reward that I could say it was all worth it, right? Which may be selfish because there's been a lot of great things, whatever, and you never know how if you went back, you could affect the timeline, right? I would hate to do that. But in the moment, I was like, man, if I could, yeah, fuck yeah. It was totally not worth it to hurt like I have. And this right here was like, okay, you want to go back? You want to change things? You don't want people to judge you? Fine. then you don't get to be this badass bitch in charge, right? And you know what? Fine. Maybe you won't be so lonely. You won't be so indecisive or incapable, but you also will never change, right? You will also be stuck in your ways. And yeah, okay, maybe no self-inflicted wounds, maybe no cruelty and self-torture, right? Maybe you let go of all the hatred you had for yourself all those years, but also no payout, no payoff, right? Like, can't have one with the other. Okay, so maybe you don't act on every emotion and act on a whim and take things out of context or move too quickly, but also you miss out on the things you enjoy most. So when I really broke down today, like I said, this fucking gate shit or the emotional, energetic charge lately is just fucking ridiculous, right? When you say, I would go back and I would change this and I would change this. That's exactly what I was talking about. Like, man, no, trust me. I am my definite own worst critic if I'm my own worst enemy, right? And I act on impulse all the time. I hate it. Sometimes I have to, you know? And if I were to take this, okay, yeah, sometimes I don't know what to do. Sometimes I feel very much like I'm in the middle and I ain't moving. It's not because I'm lazy, it's because, well, where am I even going, right? And if I were to take that judgment away, I would be robbing myself of what's left here, right? Which is the Empress, change, wealth, and pleasure. If I were to say that, no, my sacrifices, my pain wasn't worth it, I would go back and take this away, this judgment, indolence, swiftness, and cruelty, then I'd be without. Damn, that was a harsh lesson to start off with and did feel like a goddamn personal attack. I'm not gonna lie. These, if you are just tuning in, these all fell out together in reverse. As to say that very particular lesson, that when you say that you would take away your pain, you are also taking away your pleasure. And when you would say that your sorrow wasn't worth it, you are to say that your happiness wasn't either. So I split the deck, and I think I might keep them split. This is going to be funny. Okay. So on one, I have the Princess of Swords, right? She's a bit of a petty bitch, I'm not going to lie. And then on this hand, we have the Fool. Okay, so a journeyman. He's on a path. And in between them, oh boy, this is like weird. What the fuck? We have the Devil. Okay, not looking great. He's a dick of a dick, man, devil, right? That's literally just emphasis. I'm not saying that Capricorns are all assholes or anything. Like, I'm just saying this card is a literal dick. Balls, semen, right? Like a dick. And the Prince of Discs, right? So kind of doubling up on Capricorn energy in a sense, because it's the Earth with the Devil, but it's also kind of like, hold up, the fuck is this? You know, like, what is this? On one hand, we have the Princess of Swords kind of, I don't want to say causing problems, but that's exactly what this is somebody coming in, shaking up the room. Hello. Oh, those are really cute little pandas, Allie Berry. We have the Princess of Swords, which is air energy. And underneath it is the Ten of Cups, which is satiety. So there's been some, some kind of interference here. Someone who came and shook up the room. And the Knight of Swords, in response to this Princess of Swords, right? So while this is kind of like usually petty energy and like moving in a little too quick and kind of like sword swinging, like no plan of action, just like coming in hot. This is actually everything, oddly enough. This is such a weird reading already. And then Aquarius, the star card. So there's 5 on this side. I can't just keep drawing from the top. I'm looking at them. I don't really do it like that. It's just general. And on this side, we have the Fool, right? So being on a journey. Um, we have the Lovers, which is the Gemini card. So we've gotten Capricorn, Aquarius, and Gemini so far. And Libra, Adjustment. And Universal Hexagram, Divine Union. And 3 discs. Works. Wow. I don't know what to say to y'all sometimes. It seems that there's maybe a fork in the road. It doesn't really feel like anything. It feels like there's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. I think everybody's got a lot going on. And it's hard to keep up, and it's hard to keep it straight, and it's hard to know what we want in life when we have so many options and so many things. And I don't think it's as simple as to say that the internet has ruined dating by any means. And not that this is necessarily romantic, but my first tip off would be seeing the Lovers and the Universal Hexagram as one part of this reading, where there's definitely some kind of romantic connection influencing the reading. I just don't know. It's like, it just looks messy. It almost feels like, the thing is, some people come on here and they think they want personal readings. You don't, because then it's too personal. Like this, like I even admitted, felt really personal to me. But this, man, I ain't a Capricorn, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think I got any Cap placements. This seems like a whole ass fucking mess. And I don't want to say what I'm thinking in a way. Again, it almost is, okay, so I drew 5 for each side. I split the deck into 2 piles, the Princess of Swords pile and the Fool pile. Princess of Swords, trifling, but of course everything's fine. Oh, see, I told you, you do not. You want me to, this is not looking great. It looks like, again, really messy. And that's why I tell people, no personal readings, because there's definitely always something like, you'll get your takeaway. Oh man, I don't know how this devil. So the thing with the devil is that it doesn't necessarily have to represent a Capricorn, but in this situation, I do feel like it is giving Capricorn, because there's so many other zodiac cards in this read right now. Like I said, it's Capricorn, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. I think that was it. And then like a very mix of elements. So I am getting Capricorn vibes. But it also does represent like addiction. And one half of this is I'm seeing like addiction being perhaps a problem. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm not seeing it. This is weird. I'm not a psychic. It's a chill out. I'm kidding. So the devil can also represent a lack of self-control. It's a possessiveness. Like the lust card, okay, is usually strength in most decks, but in this deck it's lust. It represents like physical attraction, but obsession, right? Like being obsessed with someone and maybe not loving them necessarily, because it's lust, right? It's not the Two of Cups, it's something different, which Leo card actually. But this is possessiveness, like not that I want you, but I want to have you. So you might be seeing toxicity in this connection because you, being the one admittedly with Capricorn placements, is saying yikes, you know. So you gotta ask yourself, Am I being too possessive with this person and that's why the relationship's not working out? Am I not dealing with my own vices when I want this person to deal with theirs? Like, what am I, if you're relating to the Capricorn, whatever, but if also you're just relating to the devil aspect, or it could be the other person. Like I said, it feels like two distinct things where we do have this kind of relationship situation on one side, and then we have the current situation on this side. That's weird I said that. Listen, I don't fucking know you. You're new. I don't know if you've ever, I don't want to say anything. I don't like doing personal readings because, look, you're going to go tell your fucking boyfriend, like, this person on Twitch said that you're not the one for me, but that's exactly what I'm saying right now. Clearly, the one is sitting here. Like, I don't know what that is, but it doesn't feel like it's the same fucking thing. If you're talking about the devil situation, your Capricorn placements being a little possessive, or maybe there is possessive shit in the relationship, then this side is like, if only something would come shake things up. Like, that's not really where you need to be at. That's not where you really need to be at, right? 10 of Cups, you have everything that you've ever wanted, so why are you so desperate for something to change? Interference, 8 of Swords. Knight of Swords, be your own effort. Put your own effort in. Don't wait for some knight in shining armor to show up and do it. And you'll be surprised at the results. Or there's an Aquarius. Or it's really about focusing on yourself. It's like, honestly, I was going through this in my own relationship recently where it's like, man, there is working on yourself and there's working on the relationship. But you cannot work on yourself, work on the relationship, and have the other person not also be working on themselves in order to work on the relationship. You can't force anybody to do that. So this energy tells me that is what's kind of cycling, right? And the fact that it's coming up for you now where you're like losing feelings, possessive, don't know, whatever, can't decide how I feel, right? We were just talking about this little Lionsgate thing that's happening right now where when it's all in front of you, when you have a myriad of options, or when you could say, when somebody, basically the energy right now is coming to say, if you could have anything, what would it be? And for some people, oh, it's everything I have now, right? It's everything, it's this. But yeah, I mean, I guess something different would be nice. Yeah, I guess something to kind of interrupt things, shake things up a bit would be good. But why? I mean, don't I work hard enough? Don't I deserve this? And then I accidentally picked this up. We have the Prince of Wands, which kind of is fuckboy energy. And then we have the Hierophant. So if you're dealing with a Taurus, shit is getting very real. We started with a Capricorn, ended with a Taurus. That sounds like a rock and a hard place, literally, right? Who the fuck is stuck between y'all, But yeah, something's just not right. Something's just not right. And like, that's the thing, you gotta just let go. Because on the other side right here, we went from Prince of Wands energy, which is kind of, oh, shut up. Shut up. That's so fucking funny. I'm a Taurus too. I definitely believe in second chances though. And like, I don't know. I think space is fine. I think it's hard to take space without taking a break, and some people consider breaks breakups, and it's like maybe y'all are just like in unhealthier relationships than you realize, and that's why so many people cheat on their spouses, right? And have outside affairs, right? Right, and like that's the thing. You don't really want it to because you want something different, more likely. But on this side, the Prince of Discs is investment energy. It's like taking a step, right? So maybe this is sort of imagining like if that was implemented, although it did feel like something completely separate because I said fork in the road, but it also wasn't about making a decision either. it didn't feel like you had to make a decision between these two things is the thing. Like, you shouldn't have to maybe forego a relationship just to have something else. That's wild. I kind of missed the fight. I'm like, wait a second. I'm confused. You threw me on the Are you not in a relationship? That's confusing to me. Okay, I can't really keep up with your interpersonal drama. I'm sorry, I gotta keep the show on the road. I'm like trying to catch up on the story. Like, wait, what did I miss? Are you not actually dating this person? Oh my God, it's been so long. Hi, missed you. I hope things are going well. You actually tuned into the better half of this reading just now, where I had these 2 piles and 5 draws for each side, and this side is the Prince of Discs side, where it's like a new idea, maybe a new business, a new seed in the ground, if you will. No, don't be. And it's the Fool, right? So the journeyman being open-minded and open-spirited. And then we have the Lovers, which is Gemini, but it's also like, this is where you make the decision, or it could represent a relationship, so like things going well in love. And then we have the Libra card, which is adjustments. Could be something coming up. Are you serious? It's going better than you think it is. Let's put it that way. There is some shit that's either coming in or, I mean, it's here. It's surrounding you. You literally got here right as I was getting into this pile. And the last one was not great. It was all centric to the devil, which, yes, is Capricorn, but also is like lacking self-control. So if you missed the lecture, you are doing way better than you are giving yourself credit for. And also, things are going horribly so that you let them the fuck go. You gotta do you. You gotta do what's good for you. And if you're doing good, you deserve good things. And so if things aren't going well and you're doing what you got to do, then maybe it's like, at some point, it's not always me. Oh, congratulations. That sounds really fun. So we're getting used to making these decisions for ourselves, right? Thinking of ourselves first. But universal hexagram. So like there's definitely like a divine union. It's either you are a part of it or it's coming towards you. But this, oh man, we love this card. I kept this shit off camera for so long until I accidentally revealed it, and now I just don't even care. Right. That's why, like, you might be dealing with a situation now, but it probably does need to come to an end. And I've been there. That shit is so irritating, especially if they are the ones telling you to do it, and then it's like, all right, I went, your turn, and they're like, oh, I don't know about therapy. Like, really? You knew about it for me, though. What about you? Oh, it's so interesting, right? And 3 of Discs works. So, okay. Listen, lady, if you're a lady, point being lady, I'm kind of seeing where this is headed now. If you want to be pregnant, that's great for you. Get pregnant. But now that we're talking about this, it's like, if you don't want to get pregnant, and here's the thing, I would never advise someone to like have a baby to save a connection. Mental health or physical health. But it's almost like the 3 of Discs at the end is like kind of weird, right? Right. There's definitely a little bit of that energy. It didn't come up as the Prince of Cups. So let's dial it back a little bit. It does not have to be a child. This can be any kind of investment or some kind of idea that comes in to help with the relationship, in the sense that it could be like, we are moving in together to take it to the next level, buys you a very special gift to prove your worth, if that's your love language. Maybe like investing in each other somehow, like having a joint bank account. I shouldn't have said a baby, but also if you are far from trying to get pregnant, you better watch that ass, because something is trying to improve your connection. It's almost like an outside, not an outside source or person, but it's here in the cards. Like there is some kind of very divine, meant to be connection, and it's not clear whether or not it's the same person in both piles, right? But seeing the Prince of Disc, I was like, planting seeds. And then I was like, oh shit, planting seeds. So be careful. But then at the end, 3 of Discs works. This is like 3 streams of income, 3 people in the family. I literally just think about that Blind Melon cover of the Schoolhouse Rock song. It's like how you make a table stand, you know what I'm saying? So like 3 is the magic number, and that's how you find balance, right? So I said from the very start, like, this is a little bit of a whack-ass reading. It's kind of a weird thing. And then we have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Fulfillment and knowledge, basically. Like, having the right perspective and feeling like you've gained perspective, or you're in a comfortable place with it. And then, like, incoming knowledge, receiving knowledge, understanding things. Picking and choosing our battles, right? And this is the battle. This is what we've chosen. So, kind of weird. I didn't really love it, I'm not gonna lie. The whole thing was a bit of a mess. Yeah, so don't trap him. You know what I mean? Don't trap him. Don't try to get pregnant or anything. Or at least like be conscious of it. It can bring people together. It can create families or whatever, but like, you should just do it with the best intentions. See, okay, that's fair. Where like, I totally get that. But if who cares, right? At that point, they deserve each other. And if you already have hesitations, what are you even holding on to at that point? And why would you want to prevent them from possibly either being happy or experiencing a worse karmic lesson than you did? Okay, love you, miss you. Have a great night, too. And definitely watch the replay. Maybe I'll do Instagram soon, just because I haven't on my new account. As I said earlier, I was like, man, it just doesn't feel like that kind of thing anymore. But I kind of miss that vibe, too. Ooh. Ace of Wands. We got 3 out of the 4 aces in the last 5 minutes. We got a face down card here, and it's the 9 of Cups, which is happiness. Is it him or is it his dick? That's all that says to me. Honestly, the Ace of Wands is very phallic, and we already have the penis card, aka the devil, and then with the happiness. But Ace of Wands is also like having control over your emotions and being in a place where you can like kind of get a rein on that or have a handle on that. So, LOL, I just kind of realized that your name is maybe a pun. Halle Berry, like Halle Berry? Or is that really your name? Or maybe I'm never meant to know. So, not moving on, but I'm moving on. You can't just like completely, what? I thought my channel was 21 and up. I mean, not that you can't be, what are we talking about? Okay, listen. Like Victoria's Secret credit card? I can't. What are we talking about? I don't want to know. Don't answer that. All right. Okay, good. I'm an adult. I'm sorry. I was just very thrown. Sometimes the chat is delayed just like enough to make some of the things like make less sense. Wait, so are you all like, is he like young? I'm confused. Anyways, listen, this is a hard time right now. I'm just gonna be honest. It's just a hard time right now. I don't know what the fuck's going on energetically. I feel like Last I heard, the sun was moving from Capricorn to Libra or something. I don't even know when that was. We're in Leo season. I'm not an astrologer. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the planets. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But whatever it is, it does feel really intense and emotional. So I kind of want to get into less specific, even though this is my general situational kind of life deck. I don't want to be at such a distinctive place with the cards where we are talking about people, places, and things as much as we are getting an overall message, because I think right now we are meant to be learning something. And right, it's not even about that. Especially if it's in your intuition, then some part of you is hoping that's what's going to happen. You know? Or maybe not hoping, but knowing. Okay? Not even wanting, but just like accepting. Right? So, bottom of the deck, Seven of Wands, is valor. Okay? So, bravery, courage, facing things head on, face forward. You know, no more head down, no more in the sand. It's time to complete this cycle. Four of Wands. It's time to see this thing finished. It's time to, you know, and it doesn't have to be the relationship just to be the end of a cycle. It doesn't have to be the end of a relationship to be the end of a cycle. You just have to learn those lessons, accept them, and move on, no matter what the cost or consequence is. Oh my. This is beef ramen, because we always beefing, and I like ramen, and I still like kittens, even though we got beef, bro. You've been caught. Go away. How does one beef with a kitten? Don't ask, okay? I still don't know anything. I don't know anything. All right, so it's time to complete this cycle and move on. Or, you know, moving on can be moving forward. So where are we at? It still seems like everything's a little bit all over the place. So the only card on its side really is this Four of Swords, which is truce. So right now, there has been no agreement. There has been no, see, and that's tricky, but honestly, listen, don't talk about beef ramen. He is cute though, right? He's like so tall and skinny. It's adorable. Oh my God. Was that you? No, that was my sweater. Okay. Listen. When it comes to being faithful, here's the thing. Everyone does have a different idea of it. And one thing I want to say, and I'm not defending dishonesty or disloyalty. Whoa, I haven't seen your name in a long time. I just have been thinking about something a lot lately where I personally am in love with God, like so many people. Like, who even cares, right? I fall in love all the time, every day, like Joan of Arc or whatever Nico said. And I just feel like it's interesting to me that humans only restrict love in a romantic way, right? Because you know that you can love your siblings the same, equally. You know, you can love your parents the same, equally. You know that if you have kids of your own, you're not going to like pick one that you love and the rest that you're just friends with. You love them all the same. Even your friendships. Some people only have one best friend. Most people have a pretty tight-knit group of best friends, and you don't force yourself to pick one you love the most. So it's very kind of a weird thing that we restrict only romantic love to monogamy when we don't restrict that to anything else. And some people might say that's what they're going to do, and they can't do it because it's not natural to be attracted or to have feelings for multiple people, but it's not unnatural either, because a lot of animals roll in packs for a reason. You don't think they all just be fucking? They're just in packs, bro. You can't even tell each other apart at that point. Like, come on. Sorry, that was like so fun. And I get that, you know, oh, I see, and I can't stand that shit because most of my friends, I feel, or not most of, but a lot of my friends are men. And if I ever had a partner who was jealous about that, it would just be like, see you later. I can't just like choose you over all my friends. Again, You can't like restrict one type of love and expect all other forms of your love to just diminish, right? Because you can love people on such different levels. And again, you don't like pick a child you love the most. You just love all your children equally. So like, who is to say that we can only love one person in a lifetime, or that we should love one person in a lifetime? That's why let him go. Let her have him, or whatever the fuck. Like, say la vie, it's not your thing. And that's the thing. Some people are like, well, if you're having thoughts of another person, obviously you have doubts. And it's like, no, maybe I'm just so secure in the way that I feel about this person that I'm allowing myself to feel something for someone else. Damn. You know, there's such a negative mindset around the whole thing. And it's not very socially acceptable unless you're Mormon, which everybody makes fun of the Mormons anyway. I would say no offense, but honestly, be offended, die mad, I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Yeah, so there's no agreement right now. There's no truce. There's no end in sight. We're trying to get to the Four of Wands, and we can't even get past the Four of Swords is basically what's going on here. What is going to tip this? When are you going to either come to terms with what it is or let it go completely, right? Wow, I do love that this is literally, okay, so we have fortune and futility. You want the wheel to turn, but you're not putting in any real effort. You may be putting in effort, but there's no outcome because your efforts are futile. Like, there's no point to what you're doing. If you want the wheel to turn, you got to do something else. They say insanity is repeating yourself and expecting different results. But at the same time, no. Not no. Yes, I completely agree. You got to stop doing it. To going against the grain, going insane, going mad. To love intention, no pension, to more than one dimension. I love how people are like, oh, you're queer? I didn't know. As if I didn't see Rent in theaters on Thanksgiving Day. Okay, at the like ripe old age of, I don't know how old I was, in middle school. Please. Yeah, so put your efforts in another way or in another place, because this just ain't it. You know, it's so funny because I feel like I can feel that. I feel where you're coming from. But I almost have a harder time when the passion is there and you desperately still know you have to or want to let someone go. Like, I've dealt with addicts before where, like, the passion is there and you love them, but you also are like, no, dude, you're, like, stealing money from me. Get the fuck out, you know? And that's really hard. That's interesting that the wheel came up. It's pointless to try to get them to see it, you know? And yeah, okay, so funny thing about Seven of Cups is, like, I used to call this the cheater card because debauch is, like, what I thought was in reference to debauchery, which is like a medieval term for when somebody sabotages you from your own side, basically. And I know, I'm sorry. But it's really excess. It's really about excess. So the fact that the devil came up and that we are learning lessons and that we seem to be stuck in a cycle that cannot be completed, I do kind of am leaning a little more towards this being drinking, because when I see sort of like the negative cards, I base what it might be associated on with the elements. So, like, yes, the cups can be very yonic and water is one of the feminine elements. I also feel like drinking, right? The swords are kind of more like kind of stuff. Or like wands is more like kind of stuff when it comes to like addiction and shit. Could be drinking. Maybe you need to quit drinking and you've known you need to quit drinking and now you're like, man, nothing in my life's working out. And you think, well, my drinking is not affecting my life, so it can't be the problem because I'm still handling all my shit while I'm drinking, but nothing's really working out for me. You probably gotta quit drinking. You or the other person, whatever it is, it's one of those things where something's being done in excess to the point where it is clogging the system. There you go. And even though, okay, well, I got all my work done, I still have a job, I still pay the bills, I am allowed to drink if I want to, kind of thing. You made a promise that you wouldn't, and you're breaking that promise. It's about the resolve. It's not about the results. It's about the resolve. So if you at one point said you were going to quit, this is me too. I quit drinking not even a year ago, and now I'm like, as long as I don't get wasted, I can drink what I want. So it's like I'll just stop before I get drunk, because I kind of realized, like, okay, my problem's not with alcohol and spirits, because I do, even when I quit, I still used alcohol ritualistically, right? So it's not so much about drinking for me, but I noticed that getting drunk is a problem, right? So was I wrong for introducing alcohol back into my system or routine or whatever? Maybe, but I'm like not getting drunk. LOL. That's the thing though. I don't know how old you are, but if a 22-year-old wants to just like kind of like drink in his free time, he's 22 years old. He just got invited to the party, bro. Let him have fun. That's the thing. Don't be bogging people down when they're clearly not ready for anything. Revisit this in 3 years when he has like a quarter-life crisis and wants to fucking kill himself because he realizes how terrible life has been. I am kidding. You know? Yeah, but like give him time to grow. It's not your responsibility, and you can't force it either. So something in excess. But again, it's about the resolve, not the results. Yeah, see, we have the 9 of Swords, or the 9 of Wands strength, and the 10 of Wands oppression. You're like, okay, so with great strength comes great resilience. So it seems like there's something sort of like pushing, and you're pushing back. But it's also weighing you down. So it's like a double force. Like, it's like one of those rooms. You walk in and it's like the walls are closing and the ceiling, and you just end up like, that's this right here. This is the walls closing in. This is the walls closing in, and this is the ceiling coming down. And then you just end up in a box, and you probably die there because nobody even knows you're there, because you're in, you know, some kind of temple that you shouldn't be in because you're Indiana Jones or whatever, right? So, yeah, I'm getting a heavy thing on the drinking. If it's a deal breaker, then it's a deal breaker. You can't force anybody to do anything. If he wants to drink, then he's going to drink. And if you don't want him to drink, then you need to just go until he's done drinking, or accept that you don't get your way. Because indolence is sort of like laziness. But the 8 of Cups, once again, it's cups. And so it's kind of reiterating that whole, like, it's probably alcohol. We have the Ace of Wands again, coming to terms with your emotion, getting a grasp on your emotions, gaining control, and being the master of how you're feeling. And I think that's going to be really important too, because, well, one, it's Leo season, so seeing a lot of the wands, especially like so many different wands, where like we started with the 4 of Wands, but we got all the way up to a 10 of Wands. But now I'm seeing the Ace and the 3, which I'll get to in a second. It's sort of like addressing the peak of emotions and the height of what you're feeling, just to come down and realize I'm bigger than this moment. Yeah, I can tell. I'm bigger than this moment. I am able to get through this. I want to be able to handle things the way that they need to be handled, right? No matter how bad they get, no matter how small this room becomes, I am able to do that for myself. And then boom, Queen of Swords energy. So coming in with a plan. We had the Princess of Swords way in the front, where she was coming in a little reckless. She did not have a plan. She was just going in blind, totally swinging left and right. Just, I kept saying petty, but it's really like, I almost said pardoning. What's the word? Surprise kind of cut people off, spur of the moment, impulsive. That's the word I'm looking for, impulsive. The Queen of Swords, she's in charge. She is in control. She goes in knowing exactly where her target's at and exactly what plan she's executing. So once you can address what's happening, once you get that feeling off of you and you get that room to open up again, that's when you realize, hey, I've got a plan that I need to stick to. I've got things to do. And don't let anyone drain your energy, right? Three of Wands, virtue. So staying true to the self, staying true to your own moral code. Okay, that's cool. We already said, like, not fixating on your personal life. No offense. I can't keep addressing it. You know what I mean? Because this is a general reading for everyone. Thank you, Bonaparte, for the follow. Three of Wands, virtue. So staying true to yourself. Staying true to yourself and basing your decisions on your own moral code or ethics, whatever that may be. To walk virtuously is not to be righteous, but to be sound in your decisions, right? To be virtuous is not to say you should live like I do, but to be satisfied with the way that you yourself are living, right? So we do have the Queen of Wands. It's a big revolutionary turn, I think, when it comes to emotions, because I myself am someone who's very emotionally apt, and I feel like it's way more common. Okay, please stop. Please stop. It's way more common for people to be a little more shut down and shut out from their emotions. And that's always been very frustrating for me because I love to feel things. But I feel like this time, whether it's Leo season, whether it's this Lionsgate situation, or if there's something else happening right now, maybe some of you are, watching this, you're 27 or what would it be, about 54, Saturn return age. But all of this is really leading up to an emotional breakthrough more than anything. So we may have been fixated on our finances for a while. I think, when I was doing the readings on YouTube during the pandemic, it seemed like finances were on everyone's minds. And now either we've accepted life for what it truly is, and that's failing capitalism for the most part, and especially where I'm at, or, things have gotten back to where you needed them to be or better than they were before. Whatever it is, it seems like the physical or the material has taken a back seat to what we now are working through as the emotional or the personal. Because even your mentality is going to make a difference on, how I almost said how you're perceived, but like what you are projecting. It's not about what you reflect back to someone. It's just about what you put out. I don't really like the word projecting as much. It just seems like a technological term, and humans aren't necessarily a piece of technology, right? Hey, what up, fam? It's an emotional turning point. There might be some breakdowns, but they will become breakthroughs. And this is not for the physical growth. It has been a while. It's not for the physical growth of your life. It's for the emotional growth. So if you need to call it character development, then call it character development. But the way that you're being developed is you're becoming more in control of your emotions and more in tune to them and being more willing to feel them, Because passion is an emotion, anger is an emotion. But there are so many things that you can feel. And so many of those things people are sad to feel. If you ever felt grief, it's kind of a relieving feeling, where it's like, I don't know, some people want to feel love so badly without realizing that all love ends in heartbreak, no matter what. Even if you get your happy ending, that just means that someone, there is no You never not have heartbreak, right? Unless you're the one who dies, but then someone else is feeling the heartbreak. Cool, so you got out of it, the other person didn't. It's still there. It's still your feeling, right? You can't have love without heartbreak. You can't have joy without pain. We know that. We know that. But maybe you cannot have joy in the present moment unless you can reflect fondly on your past, right? Maybe you cannot feel nostalgic if you are not fully immersed, okay? So this is a big emotional breakthrough, regardless of what happens in the physical realm, regardless of what you physically are going through or what you're trying to manifest as your life to be. The important part, or like this lesson that's being learned or completed right now, is that this cycle is not to just bring you pain, but to bring you an entire spectrum of emotions. Wow. And then everything will become fucked up. Everything falls apart around you. But you'll know how to handle it, right? Because you've already mastered it. We've got the 7 of discs right here. So when I say shit's falling apart, I mean it is falling apart, right? This is like the things around you crumbling. And this is like air pockets falling out, right? Bankruptcy, shit like that. So you're like, damn, I put in all this work, and for what? All I got is dark times and disappointment. The moon, Pisces energy, that's like the 6th fucking zodiac card we've seen tonight. So like half of y'all just fucking it up. Just kidding, we saw Taurus. And 5 of Cups, disappointment, stagnant, still waters. You know, you're just like, can somebody throw me a stone? No, sit in it. Sit in disappointment. Yet again, another emotion. You know? And like, I admit I could be some kind of energy vampire who like really actually just really likes feeling. But I guess also I'm just a poet. Hurt my feelings, bitch. It'll be beautiful someday. And I know that even when I'm doing it, even when I'm in it, you know? To have the ability to rile someone up from within, who cares if it's negative, man? Just embrace that shit, you know? And like the deeper you think, the deeper you feel, the deeper you think, the deeper you feel, you know? The sun. It'll all work out in the end. Somebody said that to me a long time ago, and if it's not okay, it's not the end. It's all okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. The sun goes over me, and the sun goes over me. It'd be so kind to see your face at my door. Yeah, we already saw that. So, yeah, that was pretty good. I think we did all right there. I think it was a little rough. These fucking glasses are driving me insanely bonkers because I got sick of the little nose clips on them, and they were kind of cheap. So I ripped them off, but now it's just metal scraping my nose. But it was worth it for the fit, but now I'm having some regrets about it, you know. So do we want to move on to another deck? Not doing love readings tonight. Hi. It is, yes, it always is. We've got the Halloween Oracle to talk to dead people. We've got the mystery deck to talk to like other non-human things. We've got, you know, I have this one deck that's new to me, and I'd love to use it, but I kind of like promised the person that gave it to me that they would have the first reading, and I never gave them that reading yet. But I'm highly tempted to bust those cards out because it does kind of seem like the right time. And I think that she would be okay if I did it. Ooh, maybe not though. We got the 10 of Wands impression. What do you guys think? What do y'all think? Like, did we go against my word? No, I just bitched about how resolve is so important, and it's not the fucking results. It's the resolve. So no, you can't flake on Okay, so this is really kind of interesting. I'm just, nobody picked a deck. Nobody gives a shit what I'm doing. I'm just gonna keep going. Bottom of the deck, Three of Cups, abundance. Okay, so although we may be in a state of turmoil, this is looking really, really actually quite nice here. I was kind of reading left to right, but sometimes I like to do top to bottom. So we do have the Lovers once again making a decision or perhaps a relationship. Yeah, we can do Halloween Oracle. Um, we have the Fool, journeys, right? Five of Wands, strife, all right? So the journey can't be fun all the time, but Hierophant, you got to stick to what you know. You got to stick to your plan. And that's where you find the power in the end. That's where you get the most organized. That's when you're in the most element. Yes, the mystery deck. It's kind of exhausting. Somebody already said Halloween Oracle. For some reason, dead people do not drain me in the same way as like outer space type frequencies. That actually saying it out loud makes perfect sense. The star at the bottom of the deck. I do really like the mystery deck readings. It's often centered around like twin flame readings, which is really a weird kind of development that happened over the course of the past. Well, I got this deck, the mystery deck actually bought that shit during Lionsgate. I probably bought that shit today, a year ago. Maybe I should do those, but I got a request for the Halloween Oracle, so we're going to stick to it. If I have the time and energy and audience, I might pull out the mystery deck at the end. Because, like I said, my favorite, but the most exhausting. LOL. I forgot to put this moon in there. Oh, I remember when I bought this. It felt so good. It made me feel like I could get a piece of peace in anything when I bought this. Which I ordered it online. It's weird to order stone online, but it's a really good deal for a really cool piece. Could not resist. Could not resist. Could not resist. I think I haven't used the Halloween Oracle in a long time. Y'all, I might have to ditch these glasses. It is driving me fucking nuts. So, yeah, I think it's moss agate, but it's shaped like a moon. I'm about to pull out the Halloween. I have already pulled out the Halloween Oracle. Please do not leave. I will be right back. I'm changing my glasses. Okay, I can't do it anymore. I'll be right back, I promise. Don't leave. Okay, see, I'm back. Okay. Yeah, way different. Um, I'm sorry. It's driving me nuts, man. You can probably see the marks on my fucking nose in real life. I couldn't do it anymore. Oh my god, that's so much better. Okay. Let me just clean them real quick. Whew. Yeah, we're getting to it. We're gonna do Halloween Oracle, and then, like I said, maybe touch the mystery deck. So, I just did like a pretty decent thought reading. I could give you the synopsis. We were talking about, mastering emotions. We were seeing, it was kind of confusing. It was a little chaotic. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of a weird reading where it was like I couldn't really get a grasp on the situation. I feel like I had a lot going on in my head in the moment, and it felt kind of like a pretty personal message. And I had said that from the get-go, like before it became personal for the chat, where it almost felt like I was putting something on blast. So I think one major takeaway that I would say is things done in the dark will come to light, right? Things that you're not addressing will rise to the surface. Like that kind of energy, definitely the vibe. If you don't go back, you could go back and watch it when we're done, but stay with us. Just keep going. And before we keep going, do what I do, you know what I mean? That's kind of how we do it around here. So if you didn't know that, welcome. It honestly keeps an open mind for me because, I'm trying to convince myself that I'm talking to dead people. Just kidding. I'm pretty convinced. I'm trying to convince myself to actually do it. I feel like, that's why they call alcohol spirits in the first place, right? Is because it helps connect you, not necessarily to the other world or another person, but it almost theoretically is putting you on the verge of death, right? Because alcohol is poison. And I feel like weed is medicine, but at the same time, kind of the same effect, in a sense. So, I don't know, it helps me not think too much about what I'm saying, which ultimately makes for better channeling, because when I first started this reading, I was like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, So when I'm cognizant and in control and doing regular tarot, I have, I don't want to say the autonomy of doing it, but the reservation of doing that. Whereas when I'm trying to channel, I need to just kind of be not completely checked out, because often I will have conversations, but the channeling is way better when I relinquish control. He gets it. Cheers, buddy. Cheers. And water is life. Okay. Now, the Halloween Oracle is not tarot, it's oracle. And it's also, like I said, kind of exclusively for me to channel messages from dead people. While I never put in any requests, and sometimes I will just get random messages from unanimous or ambiguous dead people, or sometimes Hades, Satan. It's people you'd associate with the dead, but not necessarily very many deities, because they would likely more show up in the mystery deck. But also, if they ever perceivably lived, they might show up with the Halloween Oracle. That being said, is there any requests for anybody you want to talk to? I've talked to, I literally almost said I talked to John Lennon the most. The spider card's usually the indication that he's going to be there. We're like, I am, he and we are. Guys, I'm such a dick. I can't deal with myself sometimes. I'm literally such a fucking asshole. Was that me or John Lennon talking? Oh, that's why we get along. I do take requests. We just ask them. You know what I mean? But I don't ask for personal reasons anymore. I let them come to me. Okay, so I get that you totally just walked in. This is awkward to tell you that we're doing necromancy. We're not doing tarot. This is my Halloween Oracle deck, and I'm here to channel messages from dead people if you got any requests. Typically, if I'm doing a channeled message from the deceased, I will allow someone to pick someone personal to flex the skill of the muscle, but for general readings, I prefer people pick a person. Oh, shit. See, you came at a good time. I don't want to get too into it. Yeah. I don't want to, like, put a full-blown conversation between you and your dad, but let me see if we can, like, get something. I feel like you were one of those girls who called him daddy. I that didn't mean it. Like, it was, like, that was, you know. I don't know. Sometimes people show me a version of themselves that they want to be perceived as, but I am seeing, like, typical, like, male face, like, structured nose, and, like, noticing the cheekbones, but, like, humble and subtle, kind of like mustache, no beard, I want to say, and, like, I don't want to call it a crew cut because I don't know men's haircuts like that, but I see his being dark and, like, a little bit of salt and pepper in it. But, like, almost like maybe he wasn't that old, or that was a long time ago. Either he died kind of young, or he's showing me him a long time ago, kind of, because, like, once you die, you get to just be any part of yourself that you want to be, right? And I think he was not a grandparent, so he doesn't present himself as such. I could be wrong, I don't know. You know, you're the only one that can verify all that stuff. Or maybe you don't have kids or something, I don't know. I think he wasn't a grandparent. And he doesn't care, forever young. For something about his lungs. Whoa, that's crazy, right? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Did he die of lung cancer? I said forever young twice, but it was, I think one of the times was supposed to be lung. That's what it is. He never got to. Okay, so he did have grandkids. He never got to be a grandparent. He didn't want to be. It's whatever to him, honestly, like, as bad as that is to say. And even if he had other grandkids, he really didn't, like, interact with them in the way that you are missing, like, you'd be missing out on something. He wanted to just stay young. Especially, yeah, you die in your 50s. He's like, yeah, I got to, like, old-ish age, and it's never necessarily, like, people make a conscious choice to die, but if you believe in any kind of, like, destiny or predetermined life, then you have to admit that, you know, death is viable of an option, or expectancy is the life plan, right? Yep, some people just want to go out that way. Like, grandkids would have aged him, you know, and, like, seeing you as an adult would have made him feel old. So it was just like, yeah, you might feel a little bit of guilt around having not talked, but honestly, he's just basically saying, fuck it. Like, that's exactly who he was, man. Learning his lessons. Well, see, that's the thing. He's probably saved himself from just progressively getting more sick over time, because he can see now that he didn't necessarily learn his lessons in a timely manner, okay? But at the same time, didn't care to. Hopes you do better. Thinks he was kind of a weird dad, you know? He's like, thinks he's kind of a weird dad. Probably didn't do that great. I'm hearing, like, don't need to talk about it. Yeah, you know, and, like, that has not changed. Here's the thing. Something that I picked up from John Lennon, that sounds so silly, but it feels so comfortable to me to say now, because it's been so many times, and he came to me first, and that was the whole thing, is he, like, didn't grant me the gift of necromancy, but he literally came down and was like, nah, girl, you are literally talking to fucking dead people right now. I was like, thank you, John Lennon. That's so weird. I don't really fuck with the Beatles, but I'll give them a try, and here we are. So, John Lennon said this to me, that you learn a lot about life and death that they cannot teach you about death and life, right? And what I love right now about your dad, I feel like he has big Virgo energy. I don't know if he died during Virgo season or if he was born in Virgo season, or maybe because Virgo season's coming up, but he's giving major Virgo energy. I almost said Taurus, and then I almost said Gemini, and I was like, oh, put them together, you got a Virgo, basically, right? So I talked to different people. What's fun for me to hear from him is that he's like, yeah, you learn a lot about life and death, but all he learned is that he like truly didn't give a fuck, still don't give a fuck. It is what it is, like to this day. No hard feelings, man. No need to be caught up. No regrets. You didn't miss a goddamn thing in the last 12 years. And the 12 before that were the best of his life, is what he's saying. And maybe that was when he spent it with you. I didn't do the math on how old you are. Maybe he wasn't there when you were a baby, and then there was some years where he was trying, something like that, where the last 12 years you didn't miss anything, and the 12 before that were the best of his life. So I wouldn't really worry about it at all. Yes, hardcore. It's not, I feel like he didn't listen to metal, but he listened to like hair metal that he thought was like heavy, and you're like, dude, this ain't even Pantera heavy, bro. Like, what is this? Fucking hair metal. And he wasn't gay, but he was like really like into like guys, as weird as that sounds. Oh, he sounds like that's, yeah. Okay, I don't want to cut him off, but that's, so now anybody watching, I don't know this person, that name is kind of like amazing, by the way, the leopardess thing, and I am an earth sign, so yeah, no, I know. He's telling me, I'm not even like, that's what he's saying, you know, because you learn so much, and I feel like he didn't learn a damn thing. That's what he learned when he died, is that he didn't learn a damn thing. You're welcome. So if there's any requests of like, no, that's my only, this was a gift because he passed a month ago. Please don't ask me for any more personals on the general. I always choose one person to have a personal connection to, so we can verify my abilities, right? So that was her dad. Thank you, by the way. I wanted, not Greg, but something like people called him Greg all the time. Gary, Craig, I don't know what the fuck his name is. He was a Greg, you know what I mean? Thank you to Greg for being a little stand-up comedian. But if there's any other requests for the Halloween Oracle, which is so funny because somebody requested that we use this deck right before you joined the chat. So, like, that was definitely divine. I loved it, honestly. It was so much fun. Jeff. Okay, so I love what we do in the shadows, and, like, I'm not into spoilers, even if it's something, like, non-sequential that's just a joke in a story. But this one I will, because it definitely reminds me of Naja in, like, season 2, I think, when she's like, or no, maybe that's season 1, and she has a lover named Josh, but his old name is Gregor. So she's like, can't remember his name, and just is like, Jev, you know, and he's like, it's Josh, and she's like, yeah, whatever, Gregor. So it's really funny that I said Greg and his name is Jeff, because ancient names lost in translation. He's probably Gregor now, you know. He's going back to where he was meant to be. Probably medieval times, honestly. You may not see him for a long time, you know what I mean? But just know that, yay, thank you. Yeah, basically. So, yeah, so you said, like, we got to get a reading with this deck. I don't do readings with this deck, really. We just incorporate the cards sometimes to what the people are saying. But if we don't choose a specific dead, LOL, that's kind of literally what I was thinking. If we don't choose anything, we'll just get kind of a general message from, like, anybody, maybe more Jeff, because we love that. Going to live out his full, like, medieval, don't give a fuck fantasies in his next life. Good for him, you know, and then probably die even younger. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. God, why would you even suggest that when August is the most nerve-wracking month of my life? What card was that? It went long lost in there. What is it? What is it? Oh my God, you guys. I hate that I say you guys because it's like gendered, but I'm from the Midwest. Is how we live. Okay. Flashlight. Where did it go? Why did I do that? You see what I did? No, that's what I was saying is like everybody gets one freebie, but I don't just do personals. You can always book a personal though. Y'all, I really just lost a card. Oh, I found it. Okay. I love this right now. Everyone is like, what the fuck was that? Okay. Maybe it was the Harry Potter spell. Damn. What do we think it is? I would love if this was Night Song, the cardinal. Or, let me see. Sometimes I can just touch a card and I know what it is. I feel like I want it to be Night Song, but I feel like it's Underworld or one of the winter cards. So let's see. Damn, scrying. That is ironic. That's really ironic that I was literally trying to see the card and it was a fucking crystal ball the whole time. Yeah, okay. So my intuition is telling me yes, August is an important month. But before we go, somebody definitely wants to talk. And since nobody had any requests, there is someone in this chat that is a big fan. And they aren't saying anything, but as soon as I said anyone, you thought of someone, not a relative, not a family member, someone you like idolize. Oh, that's very cool. Maybe it's your dad. He's like a famous stand-up comedian in the underworld. I don't know. We've got death. The eternal cycle begins here in Jack-o'-lantern protection. So someone, this isn't really Scorpio because it's Oracle, not Tarot. Love that. But this death and protection, right? That's so interesting. It's almost like no one's really protected from death, right? But maybe you're protected in death or from death is. And then we have Skull of Flowers, creating through the ashes. Okay, so if you have your family member's ashes, use that to create something, maybe even physically, if there's an artist you want to honor. And then we have Cauldron, which I feel like this is a very similar energy to the scrying. Synergy and healing. Okay, so it's about kind of coming together, making your own elixirs and keeping your own health. Okay, there's someone, it's like hold on. Don't look at me. Is that Norman, who sings the Spirit in the Sky song? Is that dude dead? Why is that song coming up? I love that song. Spirit in the sky, going to place when I die, and my life is a mess, yeah, they're gonna lay me to rest, yeah. Spirit in the sky. Is that Norman Baum guy deceased? Because I feel like that'd be a really weird, no offense, maybe he's like super wise or something. Is that like somebody's favorite? It was so random. Or it's just that song is connected to someone. Spirit in the sky. I got my ear whole ass popped. Who is that? Is it this Norman guy? Norman Greenbaum or something? Yeah. What? I only know that one song. I'm sorry. That's so random. Especially because it was this whole, surprise thing where it's did you think I was gonna care. I know one song. One Hit Wonder. I don't know. What does it have to do with anything, bro? It's literally all I'm getting is that one song. Okay, so less so Norman himself, but I feel like maybe someone's watching and that song meant something to one of your relatives more than it's like actually him, because he's not saying much, and I don't know if it's because I put him on the spot in the way that I just said I don't even give a fuck, but I just don't know anything about him. Sometimes with some of the others, it's like you know about their life and you can know their stories, so you kind of understand what they're saying. And I predicted that card was this card. I said Night Song, the Cardinal. Night Song. And so even though it wasn't between the boards, okay, that's the thing. Okay, so maybe this is a lesson in music, and maybe there's more to Norman than I knew, and we're gonna let him take the floor. I'm just gonna like embrace the fact, because I can see like he had the kind of like not shaggy hair because it was short, but it was that very like 70s kind of I guess like a shag and a mustache. So it was kind of like Jeff and just grew his hair out, and now it's Norman, right? It's like I can hear him distinctly, but I have very little connection to him. So even though I can connect to someone like literally your dad, I'm struggling to like actually make a connection with Norman, which is why I feel like it's not actually him as much as somebody's talking about this song. And of course, if he is deceased, then it could be him. But again, it's this weird disconnect where it's almost like I myself am working on a music project. But if anybody else in this is working on a music project, I feel like the only thing I'm getting from this is about to be about music. I know I haven't really said anything because I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck. It's throwing me through a loop. Sometimes it's like this, but we got Night Song, which is Hidden Talents. And like I said, you said something about August. Like I've been talking about my little release date for this thing I'm working on is August. So Norman Greenbaum and Hammond, whatever your name is, what do you want to say? He's like, I dared to be different. It didn't matter that the only thing anyone remembers isn't even my name. It's my song. It's the fact that I could say one line from that song and all of you knew exactly who I was based on that one song. And that's why I gave it my all. I got mocked relentlessly for my religious beliefs before I put that song out. But you bet your ass nobody asked me how I felt about Jesus ever again when I had the hit single of 1977. I don't know when that song came out. You can verify that. I don't know if that's true. You just have to dare to be different. Even if it's not all that different, because most of the time we live in our own echo chambers. And so even if you are surrounded by people who doubt you, there is a good chance that inside they believe so much in what you're doing, they wish they were the ones doing it, and that's where their doubts come from. They question why you're not less confident, right? It's not because they don't believe it, it's because they don't understand why you're doing it and they're not. That's what it comes down to on purpose. What is purpose? Sometimes your purpose is to be a moving part in someone else's picture rather than be a part of the picture. Boom! That was nice! Nice! That was so good. Love that. Oh my God, you came in a really weird time. The real salties. I'm pretty salty myself. I'm up to channeling Norman Green, Spirit in the Sky guy. Talk about music and stuff. Oh man, it's kind of so cool. What he's saying is super rad, and we all almost wrote him off. We're like, yeah, Norman, whoever the fuck that is. Wow. Wow. That was really deep. The veil, the future. Okay, so let's hear him out. Okay, especially if anybody's interested in like a career in music or making music or something like that. The industry is not just a trap, but it is a fallacy. Sometimes what works in the industry is working less for the individual and working more for a machine. And the thing is, the machine cannot turn down what is creative, what is original, and what will provide the energy of what it takes to run an operation like that, because sometimes it's not just the main outlet or the main attraction. You only have one Madonna. You only have one Beyonce. You only have one, but you got like 12 dozen Post Malone type, whoever the fuck it is, right? And so among them, where do you stand? Are you assimilating to what you know works, or are you challenging what is for what will become? That's key. He's still alive? Who are we talking to right now? The spirit in the sky. It could be John Lennon. I said that at the very beginning where I was like, oh, the spider card came out. And then I talk a whole bunch of shit and nobody wants to admit that it's him, right? Maybe somebody else wrote the song for him. I don't care. That was a great message. I definitely channeled somebody. Like, I literally said it could still be Jeff. And Jeff was into AC/DC, so I kind of doubt that he would have an entire dissertation ready on Spirit in the Sky. But I do see its importance as a piece of music. Yeah, it was deep, man. That's what I'm saying, where it's like if somebody's relative was really into that song, then it could be that. But it was really from the writer's perspective, and you can apply it across the board. Okay, that's, you know what? And he's like, now I understand gospel. That's so funny. Like, I told you it didn't. Are you serious? It probably was fucking Jeff, dude. I love this. It's gotta be Jeff. Because Norman is still alive, and he was like, dude, I didn't ever get to do this in my life. I'm a stand-up comedian now. This chick is cool as fuck. I'm gonna keep fucking talking about my favorite song ever, Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenman. Like, Zhezh. I'm sorry, are we making too much laughy jokey on your dad, or is it like, right? Like, is it like we certified that it was Jeff enough to like be able to laugh with him? Because literally, how did I know all that stuff when I have never seen you in the chat before, and like everyone here knows that, like, what a crazy thing. He really just went off on a tangent. That's the thing. If he could have done anything differently, he probably maybe would have been a preacher, but instead chose some other kind of life of sin. I don't want to say he was a gambling man or a drinker, but maybe both or somewhere in between. Where it's like, did you miss the fact that it's her dad that passed away a month ago? Are you joking? Oh, you missed that part. Yeah, like, totally was channeling her dad, dude. It was crazy. I don't mean to like be goofy about it, but yeah, no, the fact that he just pulled a fast one on us is hilariously Virgo energy. That's the thing I like. I know, the chat's delaying. Somebody said, who the fuck is Jeff? And I'm like, no, dude, it's definitely like, that's our guy, right? Yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool. The fact that he was religious is really telling of why he chose that song. Because I was like, man, what does... It didn't... I told... Oh, my God. That's so funny, dude. Should I go back in? Who are we talking to? Like I said, it could always be John Lennon. Oh, I love that because I love Gemini placements. And, like, I hate to love Virgos even more. Okay, the whole point, again... First of all, do not tell me what to do. Just get to the reading. This is the reading. It's channeled messages. That was the whole point. That's what we were talking about. They already did that. He was just literally preaching. But you can leave a tip. Lady de los Muertos is usually a sign that you owe someone. Well, you owe me. It's how we operate. It's not that you owe someone. Lady de los Muertos is acceptance and equality, so it's representing like all people are equally worthy. So all of you that are watching, leave a tip. It does not have to be monetary. You can leave like a great tip, like advice, or even like just subscribe to my other channels or something. Like, who cares? You can even like buy something for yourself and I'll still get paid for it and you still get something out of it. But you don't want to you don't want her coming to collect your debts, okay? LOL. Maybe we'll be good on the Halloween Oracle. We can pick a new deck if you guys want to. This has been really fun with Jeff, and I think that shit really was like wise as fuck. What was that line that just had me like, damn? And then we're like, wait, Norman's alive. Oh my god, Jeff? Lena de los Muertos. That's how we got introduced, is that she does not work for free, so she shows up to remind me to not also work for free. And this is how we operate. Because she's not my deity necessarily, but she's looking out for me in the world of necromancy. Ooh, I'm glad. See, I'm not. That's why I'm like, respectfully, we have very little connection, but like I said, the way she was introduced to me in tarot, not from this deck, but someone else had told me like she works, for money, like payment, even in exchange, I guess, but like they were very specific to say that they only gave me a reading with those cards because they felt like they owed me, you know what I'm saying? So when she comes up, that's how I know, thank you, that y'all gotta leave some kind of tip, even if it's just, hey, subscribe, I don't know what that means. That's what I'm saying. It's not really it's the only card in the deck that is relative. Yeah, I try to always. So I guess we'll just get some last advice. I feel like you guys want to do John Lennon thing because these are the John Lennon cards. These are how I always know he's calling. It's like I said, I don't really do actual readings with this deck. It's for channeled messages, and then like, yes, I will incorporate the cards because it keeps the conversation on track, and like it helps to like I explained this in my last one that I did channeled messages, where there's like levels to it, where like there's the basic kind of like receiving a message, like receiving and teddy boy. What is that? Hello. Who are you? Sorry. A teddy boy? I don't even know what that means. Is that like an English thing or something? Yeah, we'll get to it just a second. There's like the receiving and reciting, and then there's like actually like channeling, and then there's just full-blown possession. I feel like it's not very often I get completely possessed, and I feel like Satan and Nico are like the only two people I can think of that have actually fully possessed me like that. And one time an orb dropped into my mouth, but I can't even remember who it was. I feel like it was somebody's ancestors. Anyways, yeah, so my cards, the first time I channeled John Lennon, I was not doing tarot. I was also not doing well. Literally. Oh yeah, hey, how long you been here? No, possession can be really scary stuff. It's usually it's like a controlled environment, although I feel possessed month after month after month, based on my own human accord. But, channeling's fine, and the receiving transmits are also fine. But yeah, possession's intense. That's why it doesn't happen as often. So after like the first time that I channeled John Lennon, it sounds sillier when I say it out loud. I literally will just talk to this man like all the time, just like, it's been a while. And actually during this time last year, the Lionsgate, it was like, you can go on my old Instagram. It's like Illy Millie. But I did a bunch of live readings, and I can channel anyone. Did you just see what happened with her dad? It was just like, oh my God. It was almost like I was saying too much, but she was like, no, that was insanely accurate. What the hell? Yeah, I can literally channel anyone. it's just like, again, I don't really like asking, but I don't mind when people put in requests. But when we do the live, I don't like it to just be too much personal. I just like to make one personal connection so we can verify it, because there's no way to confirm what John Lennon would be saying, right? And there's no way to really confirm anything about his personal life or anything that he might tell me. And so that's why, like, it always starts with, like, the basic stuff, like me saying 1977. Like, I don't know if we know if that's when that song came out, but it wasn't Norman, so why would they know? Um, but after that first time, because it was Robbie, that was how I knew it was him. Okay, he's alive, so that's kind of like owie. But I just thought I channeled someone who was alive too. So, um, I was gonna say, I feel like I know you, but like I have no guesses as to who you are. It's just a feeling of like, God, like not in a good way, no offense. Um, so we have eternal love is love and it transcends physical death, which is really funny because I just said I feel like I know you, and even if I don't, it's like, yeah, that would make sense. Because sometimes in this life we take bonds with us from the last one, and it's so crazy because, man, I feel like more than anything, this deck is going to let me loose on a fucking tangent because of the aspect of like, I never like, I don't know, I didn't go out of my way to ask for this to happen. That's why I'm pretty specific as to not ask anyone in particular to talk to me unless it's for my own personal reasons, like a friend or a family member. And even then, I'm pretty wary about it and let them come to me because they know they can. And they taught me that I could do this a long time, like 10 years ago is when I really realized it. And then I thought, like, man, I've probably been doing this my whole life. I've been talking to Jesus. Catholic school. Something about this is very nerve-wracking to me right now because I feel like I'm going to say something possibly to someone that I know. It's weird, right? You don't have to reveal your identity by any means or admit that you're stalking me, but it's just giving a certain feeling. But that's the thing. Sometimes you bring bonds into this world and we don't even realize that so much of what we see and consider to be fiction is inspired by true stories. And I will say that myself, I do feel like we are getting into a channel message. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. It could be Jeff or John. It's always general on my channel. Thank you so much. Now is the time to throw stones because ain't none of y'all living in glass houses, and soon enough we'll be living underground. So you know what? You better get to work. You better buckle down. You better strap in, and you better get going because you say you want a revolution. Well, you know we all want to change the world. But if nobody does, then it's simply over. And part of what changes, right, is within. Okay, so nothing changes if nothing changes. Nothing changes unless you change, right? And that was the whole thing about the stupid bed thing. It's like staying in bed sometimes is the best thing you can do for yourself. And while it was very poorly executed because I was not very good at explaining any of my ideas, regardless of how well they took amongst other people, I never really quite understood it because I thought what I did was kind of lazy. It's like I knew what I was doing, but I couldn't justify it. So how good really was it? But everybody let me do it simply because of who I was. Mostly because there was no one to hold me back. No one ever told me no my whole life. They challenged me, but everybody was quite compliant to the rise of my fame. And it's still weird to say. It's still weird to think because there was no other destiny for me. It was something I knew since I was a child, and you have to grapple with it your whole life before you experience it because that's something that most people, when really given the opportunity, when really sat down and weighed those options, most people would reject the idea in the last minute. It's something you might think you want, especially now everybody goes viral or, influencers and all this other bullshit. First of all, it's not even real, right? It's so fake. And not to mention, the repercussions can be somewhat deadly. I mean, the backlash alone, the ridicule, the judgment, exposing yourself into the public eye goes far beyond your comprehension of popularity. You know what it's like to be the most popular person in the room. Do you know what it's like to be the most popular person on an app? It's not necessarily a fun thing because all of a sudden you can't make mistakes. Or people think you've gotten too many chances. And you can't even really face yourself because you are so sick of what you see. And you're the one posting it. Better not have no influencers watching my fucking channel. What are y'all doing? What are you trying to influence? You know what I'm saying? That's like, I'm under the influence, dog. Wait. Yeah. Oh, wait. It's supposed to be above the influence. But I'm under, bro. Like, stop trying to influence me. We're in a really weird time in life where the whole world could very, very realistically, real time be falling apart. And that is why we make art. That's why we pass our time in the ways that we do, because without a true sense of reality or knowing what is right and what is wrong, because maybe you didn't believe in necromancy before you came on this channel tonight. Maybe you've seen her readings and you still didn't believe what she was saying. Was it not proof enough that we could guess someone's birthday? Right? Take everything with a grain of salt. But if you're going to take all this shit with a grain of salt, oh my God, how cool. Greetings. I'm in the U.S. It's like probably not as cool as Germany, if I'm being honest. Because like everybody says Germany's really fucking cool and Berlin is still punk as fuck, and I can appreciate that. Greetings. Salutations, Major Glory. Guten Morgen. Ooh, I know a little bit of German. Oh, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. I think that's kind of everywhere, though. It's like you get a mix of things, everywhere you are. Same with here. Some people are living life. Like the Kardashians live in the same country as me, so like, it's not all bad. And I'm comfortable. I'm happy. It's just a struggle every day, isn't it? Oh, happy birthday. Are you a Leo or are you a Virgo? I could guess, but like the whole thing is like he was dead and told me his birthday. Leo, I kind of had a feeling I was leaning towards Leo because I was like, seems more like, Oh, I would come in a heartbeat. Anywhere I was invited, I would go pretty much, except I'm broke right now, so hit me up in like 10 years and be like, hey, you should come to this really cool part of Germany. And I'll be like, fuck yeah, bro, let's fucking go. We were just doing some channeled messages with the Halloween Oracle. I can always switch decks too. Somebody requested the Halloween Oracle without really realizing what it is. I use it to channel dead people, so we were kind of talking to John Lennon. Oh my God, you're from Germany? Do you love Nico? Or is that like weird? Was that like a prejudice thing for me to even ask? Like, what the fuck was I thinking? Was that rude to just assume that because you're German you love Nico, or no? Yeah, amen, that old European magic. Am I being prejudiced? Ask about what? If you love Nico, like, do you love Nico? Like, Nico, how old are you? What do you mean you don't know who Nico is? She's like a German-born artist and model, and she worked with the Velvet Underground, even though it was a very small fraction of her career. Oh my God, I've perfected my German accent because using this very Halloween oracle, I was channeling Nico so much that I just, like, came out with the whole thing. It was perfect. I never even tried a German accent until I channeled Nico. That was why I said it was kind of like possession. Hey, man, maybe he's young or, like, in a really far out part of Germany, man. Dude, sorry, my makeup started bugging me. It's almost like somebody wishes I didn't put it on. Nico woke up. She said, oh, what's just on my face? She's like, get this off. Where are my cigarettes? And I don't have any. Really? Nico? She's German, bro. She was born in World War II, like in Germany in World War II, 1938. She was a Libra, but I can't remember her exact birthday. And then she didn't even move to, I think she moved to France when she was like 16, but she was like a very famous German model and like lingerie seamstress and model when she was like 13 years old. And she's iconic. Like the bangs, she's a factory girl, dude. Like you don't know Nico. And I mean, she's a celebrity, but she's also a revolutionary icon. She was playing illegal concerts in the Soviet Union and other parts of Europe in like the 80s, bro. She died in 88. She played Prague in 85. It was like a totally illegal concert. It was like you can only see bootleg footage, and it got busted up, and they had to flee the country that night. Like, badass bitch, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, I don't know who she is. You should know who she is. Yeah, but she came from America and came and toured there after she was famous and had money, and she still did it. Like, that's some punk shit. She was like, had her whole life on the line, you know? But then put everyone else's life on the line for heroin. So, like, whatever. It is here and there. It was still really cool. And again, 1985, like, know your history, right? Like, it's just, it's the people who pave ways. That's what I was kind of getting at is maybe you're just young, lol. Sorry, I know way too much about Nico. Like, I got really interested. Like, I was into her in high school in the way where I was like, God, I wish I could be her. I'm obsessed with her voice. She's so beautiful. And then, oh my God, yeah, you're a baby. So just take it as it comes. If you ask an adult about Nico, they'll be like, yeah, I know who Nico is. What are you talking about? How do you not know Nico? It's probably the same thing. That's sweet. You barely made it to the channel. Like, congratulations. This is why I fucking... It's not because I'm drinking or because I'm talking about something illicit. It's because I want people to get my references. Maybe I need a 25 and up club. Thank you for the follow. I consider myself a glitch witch. It's a glitch out. A glitch witch. So I like code glitch. Y'all. I can't. I'm having too much fun with this. Yeah, I know way too much about Nico. That's what's weird is like I loved her in high school and then I learned more about her life late in the later years. And I love anime too. Not in the way that I know a ton of it, but is that why you asked that person if they're a Cancer? All right, hold on. I'm about to go get my water and we will change decks, okay? Because you want tarot and this is not what this deck is about. So let me get some water. I'll be right back. What do you mean I don't have a bot? Dude, I don't really listen. I'm on Twitch because I think it's cute. I think like YouTube is kind of insane and I did it for 2 years for nothing, and it was awesome. I loved it. And a lot of people recommended Twitch. I don't know shit about it. I don't give a fuck. I use Twitch Studio Beta and it literally has been fucking me since day one. There was a whole fucking month or two that I couldn't use sound and there was no reason for it. And then one day it was just fixed. Like, it's been awful. Yeah, I don't really know. He's like, I code and glitch. And I'm like, cool, glitch and witch. I love that for us. Um, the baby. Sorry. I love it. I love it. Um, yeah, I have no idea how Twitch works. I don't even really. I wish that I was. No, don't be sorry. I'm saying I'm kind of open to it because I have no idea. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be rude. I just sound like this. I'm very abrasive, and I have had a lot of energy and emotions today, so I'm kind of all over the place. When I first started the stream, I was a little worried that I was not like competent enough to do it, and now I took my rose tints off because they were destroying my nose, and I feel fully exposed with these on. But we're trying. We're doing what we can. So yeah, I don't know anything about Twitch, but I don't spend a whole lot of time on it either. My readings are really sporadic. I'll do a bunch and then not be back for a while. I'm trying to be more regular at it, but I just always got shit going on. I'm making an album that I'm trying to have done in the next like 12 days, I guess. I don't even know what day it is, and trust me, I don't want to know because it just stresses me out really at the start of it. And then like today didn't go as planned for no reason other than, sometimes you gotta sit and learn your lessons. And that's what this whole night's been about. Listen, if you want something, you gotta go for it. I'm gonna wrap up these cards and then we can pick a new deck so that we can get like an actual reading. I did pull out the Thoth cards earlier and I feel like they were being pretty immersive, but I get bored with them quickly because I use them the most. I don't really do personal readings. It's just kind of like a collective thing. Because it's a small crowd. And so it's like, yeah, trust me, if you're here, it applies. That's kind of how this whole thing works, right? Yeah, and my personals are always open, But the spider, John Lennon was not finished, but he's all right. No, I'm not. That's the thing. And if I was, I'd probably be more apt to doing personal readings. But at this point, no. It's just general stuff. And I could give a fuck. I'm not affiliated mostly because I'm not consistent. And I know that. But also using the fucking beta studio, not great. I would not recommend it. Tried Streamlabs for like 5 minutes and was like, oh, I'm in over my head. I'm going to go back to Twitch Beta Studio and not have sound for 2 months. That was really weird, Like, it's fine. I don't care that much. I really do like doing tarot, and if it makes me money, that's great. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to do it exactly how I want. Right, we're moving decks. I was just giving people the rundown, you know what I'm saying? There is definitely, if anybody wants to get a personal reading, I highly recommend getting the Halloween Oracle because I am feeling like while this portal's open, a lot of people want to talk. The whole point of this reading was a Lionsgate, and we can touch on the relationship aspect that you're asking about in the same way that you can apply it to anything else. Which is why I say don't do personal readings, because we are looking at the macro. We are looking at, like, why is this happening to us, not what is happening to us. It's why is it happening to us. And one thing that is putting pressure on situations and needing an answer is this Lionsgate period in Leo season that's happening right now. It opens the 26th. And it closes the 12th. And that's why you want an August reading and you want to know, you want clarity on the situation because you're like, I feel like there's just this window. There's a window. There's this small window. There's just this little window. And I gotta either go through the window or close it. And then I gotta keep going in whichever direction I end up in. And that's the why. That's why you're feeling like you need this clarity and you're like struggling to make a decision or whatever. Is probably because the pressure put on this time frame of being a pretty short window. We're talking like a week and a half, right? 3. I just panicked a little bit because I'm trying to have this whole thing done in a week and a half, whatever I'm doing, and I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. If anybody knows anything about music, I will trade you a free personal reading, deck of your choosing, if you talk me through some Audacity stuff. Because sometimes, like, watching a video is not it. I hate that. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I think I'm doing okay, but, man, it would just be so much faster if I knew someone who could just walk me through it. That's how I like to learn. Oh my God, what kind of cards? Congratulations. See, you're on the upswing. You're like, keep that winning energy. Like, that's the whole thing right now. if you want to be fruitful and successful for the rest of the year or even like longer term, oh my god, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Are you fucking with me right now? Yu-Gi-Oh! Is people still play Yu-Gi-Oh! In Germany? Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, dude. I love that show. I liked Pokemon, and like we definitely have Pokemon cards, but I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh with my brother. Like I didn't get he went to tournaments and stuff, and he was really good, but he was young, so sometimes he got hustled. That's awesome. No, I love that. You are really in probably a small place in Germany. No, Yu-Gi-Oh's the shit. Joey, do you watch the show at all, or you just play the cards? Dude, that's fucking lit, bro. Most of the people I know kind of play like some more like Magic kind of card games, like literally Magic. Not like this kind of Magic, but like Magic the card game, Magic the Gathering, right? Is that what it is? Um, I don't really know what that means, but I feel like it's like competing. Nice, dude. That's so dope. Holy shit. I don't really know how that like a gift card probably for around if that's like the euro. It's like a rough translation to be like $50 to me, maybe if I got that right. I don't know. I'm estimating or guessing completely. I know that's so fucking cool. You don't even know. If you go on my YouTube channel, you can go really far back. It was this time 2 years ago. I swear. It may have been right. No, I think it was Leo season. I was at my brother's house, who is a Leo. His birthday is like today or tomorrow, depending on what time it is. And he had his like Yu-Gi-Oh blanket from probably like 2004, and I hung it up and like talked about the heart of the cards. Oh yeah, that's dope. It's like way closer of a payout than I thought. I thought the American dollar was like so cheap at this point. Why the fuck? I'm like, oh, $50. Like, no, it's more like 68. Okay. I'm a dumbass. We know. I have like genius brain and just no human form, as I say in my human flesh. As a human being, who is talking right now? Shut the fuck up, you weirdo. I don't know what that means, but I am so hype that we are talking about Yu-Gi-Oh right now. That is deep, bro. I love that. How cool. My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card is the witch one. It's like, is it the witch's eye? And it's like emerald green. Yeah, I feel like it's the witch's eye or something like that. That was always my favorite card. Oh, okay, cool. Dude, that's so dope. Okay, back to these cards. I'm sorry, y'all. I got a little too hype on Yu-Gi-Oh! I wish I had Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I would totally do like tarot readings with a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck. That'd be fucking sick, bro. Dude, I can't wait to visit wherever you live in Germany. It's gonna be hype as fuck. I swear to God. All right. Let's wrap up the Halloween Oracle because clearly we need something a little more lighthearted than Dead People. We had a great experience earlier. That's wonderful for us. But if you do have a loved one, this portal is open right now, so to speak, Lionsgate, and it's just a time for people to decide what they really want. It's a time for healing. It's a time for closure. It's a time for new beginnings. It's a time for requests, desires, manifestations, and to really commit to a vision and to reiterate what you've been asking for or picking a new path if what you wanted is different. You know what I mean? So now is a good time to call upon, I don't want to say call upon your ancestors, but we have a lamp. So it's like remembrance. It's like light a candle, think about your loved ones, ask for their advice, connect with them. Or like I said, get a personal reading. Like, these are dope. Y'all saw what we did with Jeff. That man really came through for us. Like, that was incredible. Like, what he shared was so priceless to me. I feel like I made a new friend, And maybe that's creepy, but necromancy is a little creepy. I am pretty creepy, okay? Just know what you're getting into when you're getting in with me, right? Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. Mischief and play. Remember to have fun, even with the darker side of things, right? Owl, wise seeing, wise action. Make sure you are around people that you want to emulate. Make sure that the things that you watch or witness or take in are things that are worthy of your time and attention and stuff that you want, rather than knowing, oh, I don't want to be like them, or I just got to get away from that. You got to be like, ooh, I like that. I want to go towards them for what you do want, instead of just repelling what you don't want. With great strength comes resilience, right? And then zombie control, right? Don't get too caught up in anything. You said, oh, I don't mind. I don't really care about celebrities. Y'all still playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Y'all really don't give a fuck wherever you're at. And I love that energy, okay? Like, I wish I wasn't caught in the eye of the storm sometimes. And there's so much worse storms out there that I'm very grateful to be here. But holy fuck. It's also lovely to be here with you all, because something I've kind of like, I don't want to say realized about myself lately, but in a way, ew, I never grab my lip like that. Is that somebody's nervous habit? That was weird. I don't usually do that. Does somebody have their lip pierced right here? Like snake bites maybe, but one or two of them right here. Maybe someone who passed away. That's interesting. Or somebody has them who's watching. Yeah, because there's someone, it's just like the bonds that we create with people can really last more than one lifetime. And sometimes that's why it's hard to make decisions about the bonds we have in this life, is because it's like, I know I feel something towards this person, and I know that this person invokes a feeling in me, and I understand that I am sometimes a little distracted by these connections, and that's why some people don't want to feel them or admit that they're there. And it makes things a lot harder to navigate, to be like, damn, I just feel something for this person. I don't know what it is, and I don't really know how to same. I don't really know how to react, right? Skull of Flowers, creating through the ashes, coming up again. And then skeleton, strength. I literally just said with great strength comes resilience, right? And this is the Leo card in tarot, is strength. So yeah, eternal love is love is love is love is love. I really don't feel like using the love oracle. I don't. It's not love oracle. Why did I even call it that? Okay, you know what? Y'all, I'm conflicted. I have these cards, and they were gifted to me, and I told her I wasn't going to use them until I gave her a reading. Look, I just pulled forgiveness, but it was in reverse, which I don't usually count for this deck, but I feel like I can't do it. She'll never forgive me. And then if I ask her later, she'll be like, of course it wouldn't have mattered, but then it probably would have hurt in the moment. Maybe I'll show y'all so that I'm inspired to do her reading, and also I need to add that to my list. Okay. Just a moment. Because this deck is like so cute, and I'm not going to use it right now. It's just like a quick preview. I feel like we need this before this Lionsgate is over. So I am going to break this out sometime. Maybe August 11th would be the perfect time. Right at the end, close it up with one of these, the debut of this deck. And then I have like a week and a half to do the personal reading for the one who gifted it to me. This is official. We're going to debut this deck August 11th. And then if I don't finish this album, trying to release that day, I'll be like, psych, it was never an album, you guys. It was just me reading these tarot cards shaped like CDs. Get it? It was a joke the whole time. Just in case. Just in case I don't get it done, you know. But for now, we'll be patient. We have to be patient. So we did the Thoth deck, though I don't think any of you were here for that. I don't know if I really want to do it again. We have the mystery deck. Those get intense. It's very twin flame reading, and I don't know how interested in that. Well, some of you probably more than others. But the chances of you dealing with your twin flame, I feel like ordinarily it's slim to none, but I feel like it's part of the whole deal with Lionsgate is that that connection comes up because a twin flame, very much fire energy, and I feel like summer is when, summer loving happens so fast because it's like this portal opens up and you're like, is this person my fucking world? And it's like, do you even know them? And it's like, does it even matter? Right? Mwah, I love it. Now this is my reading. We gotta pick a deck. I don't even have a deck. I'm just talking, which I can definitely do that. Don't ask why it starts coming out like I'm some Brooklyn Italian. I'm from fucking, little miniature Italy. So what are we feeling? I really don't want to use the pink deck. I don't want to use the love deck. That sounds really annoying. We could do a little twin flame thing though. It does feel appropriate. If you want the mystery deck, I think I kind of said I was going to use it a bunch and then I didn't. It can be really draining, but honestly, I'm having a great time and I'm willing to do it. Oh, y'all, do you want to fuck around with some numbers? Because my dice are in here and I'm not on a campaign right now. And I just got this pouch for my dice, or rather, the dice and the pouch were in the same place at the same time within my possession. Thank you for having that energy because that's how I feel. And I have straight up bullied people who annoy me. Because I'm like, honestly, if you're going to be a problem, just leave. I don't give a fuck. Like, do you? Okay, cool. 5E, that's the vampire one, right? That's the one I started on. My dice are in here. So we should do some like, I've got an idea. This is going to be so cool. Hold on, I need to fill this water. I need to just grab like a bit larger amount than this tiny ass mug while I'm doing channeled readings. So we're going to incorporate this die. I think I know how. I don't know. I do not know. I think so. The vampires. It was 5th edition, yeah? Anyways, this is gonna be fucking dope. This is like Dungeons and I feel like I really dropped the ball on that. Like I wanted it to still be alliteration, but I couldn't think. Oh, Dungeons and Divinity. Or Divinity and Dragon. Divinity and Dragons, because oh my god, there is dragons in this deck. Yeah, dude, this is meant to be. I am so happy you are all here for this. I am so excited. Give me just one moment. Okay, I'm back again. So I honestly don't know that much about D&D myself. Like I do know way more than you who say I don't know when I've been on a few campaigns. But I have to, I kind of like need to like reiterate everything, every time I do it. Look at the sacks match. This is meant to be. And we have our little moon crystal. This is so cute. This is a full-blown twin flame fucking reading. And so it's like kind of like the person you're thinking about, maybe they're your twin flame, but at the same time you have to understand that like it's real hard to get a twin flame relationship, if that makes sense. See, I've never played any of those. And I don't know, it's weird that it's the person that you think of is maybe not always the person that you want to think of. These out first. I feel like this really like heavy energy. Have you ever considered that someone, I'm wondering this, like asking a community of people right now, have you ever considered like your twin flame might be someone else's twin flame? Is that part of what makes this journey so difficult? Oh, I forgot I put this in here. Look, okay, so we have like the moss agate moon and the rose quartz heart is adorable as fuck. Okay, listen. I feel like this is about to get deep, okay? It is always deep with this deck, but because this is such a pivotal time in, like, I guess life, but like it's more of the personal journey at this point, this whole like Lionsgate deal, and like, you know, just Leo being the heart, right? We're healing our heart chakras, or like doing what we want or what we feel is right. It's about what we want to be true. It's not necessarily about what we think is best for us. It's not really what we want to do, but it's what we feel like we need to do, or we feel called for. Okay? And I think it's so, it's going to just be so complicated. To see a flame and be like a moth. You see someone's flame and you're attracted to it, but maybe you're not mirroring that energy. Maybe it's not the same. Maybe it's not mutual at all. Maybe it's just like whatever. Or sometimes, right, the whole thing is that okay, in such as one man's trash is another man's treasure, one man's karmic is another man's forever, right? Sometimes our karmics look like they can be flames because they are meant to make us think that our whole life is on the line, to teach us a lesson, to hurt us, even to like to shake us to the core and feed us back to ourselves. Well, here's the thing, you are young, and part of the reason it's not that I don't fuck with young people, because like I definitely do. No, that sounds weird. I really don't like associate with anybody unless it's like relatives, and even then we ain't that close. Not that you're not welcome here. It's 21 and up. But you have yet to experience your mistakes in a way. And you can definitely make mistakes as a teen, but, you know, we have all mutually agreed that we don't really start counting mistakes until 21, basically. But then in other ways, they start counting mistakes way before then, with the sense of, you know, being charged as an adult when you're a juvenile or whatever. And of course, you have a completely different legal system in Germany and in Europe altogether. But part of your journey is that, you know, I'm not necessarily a psychic, But someday you will remember this. Even if you do watch some of my future streams, even if you never watch my streams again, even if you think you don't remember me, you in particular, my little glitch baby, you will remember this one because you will not understand it right now. And you'll think back and go, God damn it, I shouldn't have done that thing when I was 22 that you end up doing. And you'll think of this moment where I'm saying, before you even do it, that I told you so. And 10 years later, you will be meeting your karmic. That makes you challenge everything that you know and believe and love. Because if a relationship is meant to be, it can withstand the test of anything. Anything. And it's like, who do you really mirror? Who are you really mirroring? That's cute. I make jokes about life is hurting me like a comedian. That is funny. Because yes, comedians are some of the most miserable people on earth, right? Okay, but here we have 13th position fire. Yeah, that's wild, but you're still young. And if you think you've had pain, have you not realized you've given pain too? That's part of the lesson when you're 22. Bow, 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 bow. 13th position fire, queen of fire. Confidence, getting into that fire energy. It is Leo season. I forgot we were going to roll dice and stuff. Stuck in a perpetual motion. We're dying against the machine. Sometimes the intergalactics like to communicate with music because it's easier to convey language when you use it in song than it is to try to transcribe or translate a phrase into another language. Very cute. That's so interesting. Pew, 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 pew. I'm trying to kind of figure out which direction this is really in because I feel like I wasn't planning for a channeled message. I thought we were going to do a twin flame reading, and honestly, it's looking more like a channeled message because there's certain figures that come up, and it's like, oh shit, that's the aliens. Boy. So just like I was channeling dead people, I call this deck the Guides, Gods, Goddesses, and Galactics deck because it's channeled messages from everyone but the non-humans. Or everyone but the humans. All the non-humans, if you will. Aw, the youth. That's so funny. That's so you. At this fucking 8th position, Earth, she's looking very much like she is an important figurehead on her ruling planet. And then the dragons, always, if I see one of these boys, yeah, it's better to not give a shit also because anything can happen. First position, fire and air. These are the aliens, bro. So, we could definitely do some channeled messages. I feel like television, not that it's an accurate depiction, but I feel like people should take that shit more seriously. I feel like that came up in the other reading too, where it's people got to realize that stories are inspired by real life, So as far-fetched as something might seem, somebody created that to alleviate the story that they had in their head, whether it is their own living narrative or if it's something that came into their consciousness because someone else was suppressing it in their own, right? So it's just interesting where, like, I don't know if it's like a normal human experience to kind of relate to certain things, or if it's like a coincidental one, or if it's a mix of like being influenced over time. Um, and it does make you wonder how much of a human mind is even its own when we are seeing so many ads and services and influences and ads and commercials and selling points and ads and capitalism and selling and marketing and ads and, profits. Um, all of that is so bad for the psyche that it's hard to even say the way that humans would develop. And I'm seeing this kind of like, I don't want to say reptilian figure, but it looks very similar to this, where they're like, we put the hands of technology in your hands, and we did not tell you how tight of a grip it has, right? So they're like, we regret that because somehow it became a money scheme instead of something that was supposed to be self-serving. It's like Tesla knew what he was talking about. Could have had free energy. The devices would have happened so much sooner, and they would not have the precedence on society that they do today because it was in the hands of a money scheme. It was a part of the modern world. It was like, revolutionary 80s technology with Steve Jobs coming up with Apple, right? And him trying to fight the power in what he was doing without realizing that he became the power and his legacy became the power. It's like, there's some regrets. There's some regrets higher up, whether or not, somebody brought to my, somebody brought to my attention recently that they thought that, alien abduction or experiences our higher self projecting as alien, or our alien selves are here projecting as human, or something like that. And I don't put anything past anyone or any of it. But I think it also can align with just living parallel lives and maybe having a similar experience in so many different places at once, that who is to say that you're only ever going to be human, right? But if you're able to have conscious thought, then what would restrict anything else from having that same thought, right? Interesting. Maybe exile is being reincarnated as a plastic bottle that was sit in a landfill until it disintegrates in 1 billion years, and then you get to be human again or something. That's what hell is. It's a long time. Long time. Because, hey, so many people on Earth, they gotta go somewhere. But yeah, they're having some regrets about sharing their technology in the way that they did, because there was so much secrecy around a touchdown and what happened in places like Roswell and under the Eisenhower rule. And now it's just common media, but at the same time, there's a reason people are telling these stories, and there's a reason they align with more ancient tellings of stories, like with the Egyptians and with the Mayans even. And like, how did that come to be? And who is to say, I was watching Ancient Aliens, and I feel like I'm talking to this alien figure thing, where people criticize Ancient Aliens being like pseudo-archaeology, and I don't understand that, because if an archaeologist did their job and they like have the credentials to do this job, and they're telling you information that you just disagree with, that doesn't make it pseudo-archaeology. It's just, you don't agree. It's just a hypothesis at that point. It's like a working theory. Like, it's just, you disagree. There's no way you can say that somebody's fucking job is fake because you just don't agree with it. It's like, they are professionals. They did their research. They did their observing. They did their experimenting, and they came up with their conclusion of it being fucking aliens, right? I don't understand the backlash of that, other than people are closed-minded and have a hard time grasping the vastness of an ever expanding universe. How can you sit here and be like, no, aliens don't exist, but also be like, yep, the stars are just slowly growing apart, and I'm the only carbon life form anywhere to be seen or unseen? Ridiculous. I can feel it vibrating in my nose. I feel like there's some kind of species where they talk from a mouth, but it comes out of their nose also. Like there's reverb in their nose. I hear it. It's weird. It's literally never happened to me before until right now. It could be something with the mic. It's really bizarre. It's like, no, they just have this like canal where it's very similar to human, but it's adapted to be able to breathe in different elements, or like, yeah, different elements, where it's extra filtration because the vibration helps keep toxins out. The fuck what am I talking about? You know what I'm saying? I love this deck, but I was hoping for like a twin flame reading, and this went hard left field, third rock from the sun type outer space bullshit. Abundance though, right? Like, that's the thing. If human beings could tap into what they have and the vastness of reality, they'd realize that they aren't as confined or restricted to the things that are in front of them. But a lot of people simply prefer what's in front of them, and they prefer to just keep it simple and to not know. And that's why they say ignorance is bliss, because being hyper aware and extremely vigilant does serve its purpose in terms of revolution, or in terms of being, free, I guess. I don't know why I thought the word free. I feel like I got a little distracted when I came to and was like, whoa, I'm just like on a live stream. Sometimes I get lost in the channeling, and the alien's very, very interesting to me. Mirroring. I keep thinking mirroring, which is like a behavioral thing. Because twin flame, why did we have this like alien broadcast if we're doing a twin flame journey? But also, that's the thing, if you are merely a separate reality from something that could be going on elsewhere in another galaxy, then who is to say that there's not a lot more on the line for some of these connections that we feel than what we perceive in this lifetime or on this lifeline, right? And sometimes remembering is the best choice, and sometimes forgetting is better. And that's why ignorance is bliss, because some people came here to escape it and to get away from it. And then on Earth, you can't even get away from it. So it's like you can't run forever. Sometimes you got to face the music, or face your drama, face the bullshit. And it just is what it is. And life carries on in the way that it does, because it did before you got here, and it will after you're gone. Basically, I want to roll the die. I'm going to get numbers. We're kind of thinking from the perspective of August, right? Like getting a read ahead on August. This is tied more than I thought it was. Better than I thought it was. So we're going to see like any kind of like numbers, maybe we'll think of as dates, or we can think of like different things for different I kind of wanted to just like dump them out, see what it was, but I have better ideas. Ooh, okay. Let's see here. Let's use the 20-sided and the 10. This one's 10, right? No, it's not. This one? See? Yeah, this is 10. So we're going to do 10 and 20. We're going to look for significant dates in August, right? So anything on a 10-sided dice is going to be after the 20th, and then anything in the, we're going to see significant dates in August. Ooh, don't go too far. Okay, couldn't see it. I gotta roll in the light. That was cheating, but it's literally 8/11, which is like the fucking release date. I felt like I literally just dropped it. That's crazy, dude. That's the day before the Lionsgate closes. So that would be the 8th and the 11th? Or no, the 11th and the 28th. the 11th of August, and the 28th of August, and emphasis on 8/11, August 11th. Let's see, any other significant dates in August? So the 25th and the 2nd of August and the 25th of August. So the 11th, the 25th, and the 28th. One more significant dates in August. 18th and the 25th again. Okay, so emphasis on August 11th. Oh, it was the 28th. Yeah, I said that. And emphasis on August 25th. Those are going to be really important dates. Okay, this is how we're incorporating our D&D die. Sometimes with the channeled oracle kind of decks, this is technically tarot, but I use it like oracle for the most part. Is like you don't really get a straight up reading. Did I say the 18th? I can't remember if it was the 18th or just the 28th. Did we get 18? Yeah, the last one was 18, right? Yeah. I love that. There was such a delay. It's like I took a pause just to wait for that message to come through. I feel like I might be hitting a wall, or my thoughts are just like becoming a little unfocused because I got a little distracted by the dates and I started singing and I was like, oh man, should I work on my shit? But it's kind of late, but then I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna stay up all motherfucking night. But now I'm like, am I sleepy or am I trying to channel something? All I want to do is sing Froggies right now. But it's because I listen to that song like 40 times a day, every day. Because I am an evil genius. No. Because I'm a fucking man. There you are, connected to the water stream. Wash your car. Fish and frogs come screaming down like rain. There you are. Wash your hands and wash your face. Water's gone. Vaporized and gone to outer space. We got a little intermission song. Okay. I haven't really thought of any ways to incorporate the other die into the reading, to be honest with you. I feel like that was part of the reason I got distracted as I was staring at them and I was like, other than picking days of the month, I don't really see how this could be relevant unless I'm just, okay, so I have like, how many cards do I have right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 6. Where's the 8-sided die? It's this one? Yeah, so I'm going to roll this, and we're going to read them in the order of the die, just because there happens to be 8 of them. So on top, or is this technically the bottom of the deck? Top of the deck is the aliens, so we did the little channel message with them. It does get awkward for me because I am actually really into alien shit. I'm like obsessed with X-Files. I've moved on to Roswell, and I just relate to that stuff like way too hard. To be too into the alien channeling, and I gotta keep it like, you know, like I'm not too hardcore about it because I'm super into it, you know what I mean? Like a little too into it probably. So not to cut them off, but we're just like gonna see what else is going on. So instead of just going in order, I'm gonna roll the die. And it's 1. That's great. So we're starting with number 1 anyways. which is 13th position fire again, Queen of Fire. So it is Leo season, and I'm all about the confident side of Leo and shooting your shot. Shoot your shot, especially if you have yet to have a wonderful romance. Shoot your shot, especially if it's someone you've been thinking about, and especially if you have the chance to do it before August 12th. Shoot your motherfucking shot, bro. This is literally the time to do it. It's time to move forward with passion and with feminine care, regardless of your sex or gender. It's about nurturing the nurturer in you. It's about being the loving, warm energy that you would be grateful to receive. And thank you. 1999 XYZ, did you literally hear me say something about X-Files and then just like join this? Like, what is the odds of that? Probably too much. Sometimes I literally am like, are you all just like fake accounts, like stalking and harassing me? No, it's probably just like-minded people connecting organically via the internet, which is slightly inorganic, but honestly, maybe looking out for our best interest. Oh, now you're pro-internet? Okay. Aren't we on the internet? Okay. Anyways, shoot your shot. It's Leo season. Go for it. It's hot out. Everybody's looking hotter than usual. Like, come, just go for it. All right. Let's roll the dice. Let's see what's next. 6. Okay, so I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It landed on him too. I love this card. So we got 4th position, air. This man knows what he's doing. He's extremely calculated. He's very well planned. He's very well thought out. He's looking at things from sort of an outside perspective because he's still working within. You see how he's got gears turning back there, but he's got this whole almost called a lattice in front of him. It's sort of a different interpretation than I usually feel for this card, but for some reason in this moment, that's what's registering with me, where he's influenced not by the outside, but he's constructed the outside, and he is still accepting the way the inside works, right? The inside is on gears. Like, there's only maintenance. There is no way to control the way that you feel, right? Or control the way your body functions, other than maintenance, being healthy, making healthy decisions, learning your lessons and not having to repeat cycles. But, he's orchestrated the world around him to be what it needs to be for him to function, even without maintenance. That's very typical masculine energy, right? So the Queen of Fire was first, so then be the femmes, and then we got the very, like, this is clearly like a masculine type person, right? So that's really funny that I said this is very twin flame reading, but like it was giving alien vibes, and I had to just cut that shit up. So let's roll to the next card. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the femmes. We've got 7th position, fire. She's like, who, me? You think I need to change? You think I need to work on myself? You think I need to figure out what's going on with my life? The femme is all within. She's all about the reflection. She was minding her business in her bowl of water with her lotus. She was at peace with herself, seeing her reflection, knowing her depth. And this masculine's like, yeah, well, look, I got my shit together. When she can see these gears are barely moving, right? Being very hidden, very cautious, if you will, because love maybe doesn't work on time, but it works on rhythm, right? So she's kind of like, who are you to interrupt me? Who, me? That was the whole thing the last time we did this, is like the feminine has to resist the urge to mirror the masculine's past behavior or even current behaviors if the current behaviors are popping back up. Because a few months ago, the masculine was doing really well and the feminine was kind of lacking. But this is a femi year, which didn't really start till Aries season when you think about it. It doesn't end till Pisces season. So, like, the women are winning, even though it may seem, and it's not just women, it's feminine energy. That'd be like earth and water also, but femmes are definitely like, it's the year of the goddess. So the divine femmes are kind of like, oh, honey. And these masculines are looking a little ridiculous out here. And they are trying to make us look ridiculous, right? And that's why she's like, who, me? And everybody can see the femmes in all their goddess glory. So it's kind of no contest. There's really no story. It's just, it is what it is. Morning glory. 6 again. Back to the masculine. Back to the masculine. She's like, serve. Checkmate. Go ahead. What do you think is going to happen now? And he's like, I don't know. I calculated this, but perhaps I got an outcome I wasn't expecting. Or maybe I made a decision based on the world around me instead of the decision that I wanted. Who knew? No shit. 7. So 6, 7. The seneschal. And I never fucking remember what the fuck this word is. Somebody's always got to look it up. 7th position Earth, the seneschal. I don't remember what it's like. Some kind of judge thing, like a I almost said contraband, like a not a bailiff, basically a probation officer from back in the day or something like that. We look it up every time. So that's kind of, look, she's kind of looking like a femme, and it's an Earth card, so you know. Sorry, I'm just like sitting for so long. Earth is a feminine element, right? Back to the femme. She's like, come correct or don't come at all, right? She's like, I've been working on my shit. Can't speak for Azalea. I don't really keep up with her anymore. I think New Classic was like a great album, and I don't really care what anybody thinks of that. I don't really keep up because it got a little ridiculous for me. And plus, she's kind of a masculine because she's an air sign, right? So I'm not even really talking about her when I say the balance. Earth energy, water energy versus air energy, fire energy, but also like clearly the feminine cards in the illustrations. And also feminines can be gendered or sex and not just elements. That's really how it suits you or how it fits your life. Whew, I feel like I was getting and now I'm coming back down. That's the thing with the twin flame readings, is they can be really triggering and also like make you really see yourself or look at yourself. It is good. That's good. I'm glad. Your fucking name is resonating, bro, because especially because we were making jokes about the name Jej. And that, like, I was referencing What We Do in the Shadows, and Nadia can't say Jeff or Josh or whatever the fuck. She's like, my Gregor. And he's like, my name is Jeff. And she's like, yes, Jej. And I feel like that's how I would spell the way Nadia says that. So it's just weird. It feels like a con job. Are you a robot? Like, how did you get here? Letting the days go by at the water hole. Right? Let the water hold me down. I don't know. I thought it was about the watering hole. Anyway, yeah. No, it's like ridiculously uncanny. And then I was literally talking about X-Files when you first appeared, and it's 1999 X, and like I have this obsession with alien culture of 1999. Not even, it's not strictly alien. It's like queer coded, alien, futuristic, but that era of like media from 97 to like 2003, I feel like we got into heavily American slapstick around that time, but the peak like creation of all things of that era come from X-Files, so I'm a little obsessed. I've been very 90s vibing lately also. But yeah, it's just really uncanny. And I love that. And that's how you know that this is your reading and you're supposed to be here. And that's why I tell people, don't ask for personal shit. I don't want to know your business. And I don't mean to be rude to people, but when people don't know when to like stop, because sometimes I'm really interested and I will get really engaged. But if I move on, then we all move on with me. You know what I'm saying? You got to embrace what is, because we're not really searching for the what. Like I do low key like knowing the tea, but you know, and that's a private session. This is a This is a public thing, right? So we're trying to be able to work things through together. We don't need to know each other's situations to be able to empathize or relate, and we don't need to really know what's going on or be in each other's business to recognize that this is a pattern that we are following, and something that spans across lifetimes or life forms or people and connections, right? So, oh, there's such a beautiful feeling when I say that. And this is just a really pivotal time, and that's why I'm encouraging people. Even last year I was like, dude, I was feeling it. Okay, like I said earlier, I'm in love with so many people all the time. I'm always happy with whoever I'm with, but like I will always just love all the time, right? It's because I'm a poet, I think, and I just pain is just as beautiful as all of the things that you find beautiful in this world. And that's something that's unique, not to me, but it's not to many. So it's like you can definitely hurt me, but I just don't mind. And I still love myself and know when to have boundaries, but I will always try. So I'm very confident when I say shoot your shot, no matter what it's about, right? But this very brief period of like, if there's been something on your mind and you still want it or you really want to be done with it, because this supposed portal, again, it's such a vague thing that really, like I said, came into my awareness in the last 3 years, and I went in a deep dive with last year. If you want to catch I did a live stream for the Lionsgate last year with Miss Jupiter. You can go on the @IllyMilly Instagram. I don't even use that account anymore, but there's a good, pretty reservoir of videos. I used to do the tarot on Instagram, and I'm like, I'm so annoyed with this. I like Twitch much better. But you can catch some of the old readings. We talked a little bit more about Lionsgate because she was the one who really told me about it in the first place. So we did a great in-depth discussion. Now I'm really feeling like, okay, it's like I said, you're the goddess. It's the femme's turn, water, earth, and anybody who identifies as femme, come forward. This is the year that we take control back, and next year it'll be a masculine year, and then it'll be a feminine year. It's the whole thing. I went into numbers, and like sometimes 3 might be non-binary. It's like 1, 2, and 0 is everyone, creation. That's why 2020 was very much a disastrous year, because it was not influenced by a particular energy, and it was not influenced by either side, but the resonance of 0, of nature. It's like okay, stop and reflect, and then, okay, we'll let the men lead like they want to. You get year 1, and then women come 2, and then maybe 3, and then, evens and odds, and 3s, right? Very cute. I went hardcore to numbers. I don't know. I think I might post all my past streams on Patreon. Because, why not? And if I do, I'll let you know. Because that was a particularly cool stream where I got really into, like, math. And how numbers have just as strong of a resonance as elements or signs or stars, right? It's cool to think that maybe we've been using these things wrong. We've been seeing things wrong, and the reason that they changed math in school isn't because it needed to be changed, but because it needed a different look. It needs a new perspective. However, they just changed the method. They didn't change the content. They didn't change the application, right? Or did they? Are you long-term learning how to problem solve better by breaking it down into smaller pieces and working it out step by step? But also, that's what the problem-solving questions were for. So again, why change it? Good debate. But maybe we're just not using numbers in a way that serves us on the daily basis, when we could be maybe analyzing our data better, if you will. Very cute. All right, next number. Speaking of numbers. 2. Body, mind. Okay, so we've got 11th position, water. Body, mind. I love that because it's like, listen to your heart and your most logical brain and operate on a level that honors both your truth and your feelings. Honor what you know, honor what you learned, honor your experience, and move according to what you already have received and what you want to apply to your being, while also understanding that the heart will always want what it wants, and you can safely at least try to give it that, right? And Leo is the heart. You know how all the zodiacs are body parts. Leo's the heart. And Taurus, which I'm a Taurus, is ruled by the heart chakra, although I am the throat. So it's very much the energy of speaking from the heart. And that's why I say shoot your shot, because it's a quick way of implying that it's it doesn't even have to be romantic, but it should definitely feel like once in a lifetime energy for the next like 2 weeks. Basically August 12th is when the portal closes, and then you got to wait till next year to start over, or reiterate the fact that maybe it is what you wanted, you know. Even if it's stuff you forget about, even if it's something that you didn't think of until a week ago, it's divine intervention saying, last call, last call. You got another year until this wall comes down and we open it and say, hey, just checking in. Are we still on for those manifestations, for those desires you have, for the things that you wanted? Is this still what you want? And what are you doing to get it? And for my check-in, I was like, honestly, yeah, I think I'm doing exactly what I want to do. So, yeah, I think I would still say, yep, that's it. And they're like, okay, and now I have to just be dedicated to it and go through with it in the next couple weeks so that I can move forward regardless of what it means. Because you are not immune to rejection. You are not immune to the faults of life. You are not guaranteed anything just because you desire it. But your dedication to it will only make it more resonance for you, right? And things that are for you don't miss. And things you want aren't always the things you get because they're really, truly not meant for you. Sometimes it takes a long time to figure out what you want. And today I was having a little bit of a crisis. I was having a crisis. I put that Big Sean song on because I want to, it's Skyscrapers, right? Dark Sky. First track on Dark Sky Paradise. And he just says, something about being an overnight success. I guess it took 10 years for me to be an overnight success because people don't realize what you put up and what you put down and what you put in and what you put out before they hear about it or before they know about it or before you're ready to introduce yourself, right? So people have no idea the work that goes into anything before it's there. But there is a sense of ease with it all because of the technology where it's like what's authentic and what's just trending. You have to be able to decipher that yourself. And the thing is, let it trend, that's fine. There's always going to be people who fall privy to it, and that's okay too. Sometimes like it kind of goes in the way of ignorance is bliss, where you don't really need to be hyper aware of all the terrible things going on in life. How else are you going to survive what you're going through in your personal if you are so stressed out about what has zero control or effect on you, right? So it's hard to be conscious in other areas of your life if you are trying to shut out things that are far from pleasant in the world, if you know what I mean, right? This is funny that this is inspired by the body-mind card. It's like the world around you, the person you are, the vehicle you're in. You have to be taking care of it. Like I usually daily exercise, daily vitamins type, and I really got to a place of like, too busy, fuck it, I'm tired, don't even give a fuck. Like that's where I got to. In the past couple months, and I don't even know why, other than like self-sabotage, doubt, fear, anger, and where does that stem from other than, unfinished business and unrequited love? Oh, I love that. I love that. That was really like kind of cute. I wish I was writing that down right now. I guess we'll remember this, right? What did I even just say? Where does like fear and doubt and self-sabotage come from? And then something about unrequited love and unreasonable doubt. No, don't remember. We'll watch the replay or we'll forget this ever happened. And you can have my wisdom, I guess. It's on the house. For now. 4. We did 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the femme. Self-reflection. Who are you? Who are you? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back to the masculine. I don't even want to address that. It's like, it's this back and forth bullshit. And the feminine is like, what do you want? Why are you doing this? And the masculine's like, because I want you to succumb to my will to prove that I can control you if I'm going to continue to pursue you. And the feminine is like, no. Do you want anything else? And he's like, no, that's all I want. Okay, call me when you grow up. Just letting you know, I've been thinking about you. Whatever. And like, okay, we get it. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Why? Get over it. Grow up. Talk about it. Hash it out. What's the next one? 6 again. Masculines holding connections back. Whether that means the fire or air signs, whether that means the male at birth people or the men, straight up men, you know, it's not exclusive to any of those groups, but like we all know who the masculines are in our dynamics, right? Where like, yes, the femmes are going back and forth with the masculines, but it's because the ball is just constantly in their court and the femmes are pretty quick to make a basket and it's back on them. It's not even a pass. It's literally like, okay, I just scored on you. What's good? You have the ball. Oh my God, you just gave me control again. What the fuck? I'm literally dunking on you, bro. What do you want? Leave me alone. Stop thinking about me. You know? And yeah, I know you're thinking about me because otherwise I wouldn't be so goddamn irritated with your existence without you speaking to me. That's kind of how it works a little bit, whether they realize it or not. I watched this goofy-ass movie with Tom Holland that my partner put on a few months ago. And it was like the men, like their thoughts were just flying in the air and everybody knew what they were thinking, but the women like couldn't be heard. And so some groups like killed all the women because they just wanted it to be equal, but some people were better at suppressing their thoughts than others. Super goofy. And I just sometimes I'm like, that's a little too real, where like women are super intuitive and feel like they can read a man's mind, and then the men are like, no, and it's like, you're just mad that you can't do this too. Hi, I don't know if I think I know you. You feel new. Have you been here before? Maybe like a while ago, or maybe you're new. I don't know. Giving Back to the Future vibes for sure. 007, 009. Yeah, that's what I thought once upon a while ago. Like my old spot and everything. That's so fucking hilarious. This whole conversation's been really funny. I'm not even trying to like shit on men. Like I said, it can be applied to the airs and fire signs too. It just depends on the dynamic of the relationship and how you view your union or whatever, or person that you seek union with or need union with, theoretically. 5. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this card's face down. So this is the one I've been waiting for. I don't know what this one is. Let's see. Oh, is this another alien? No, kind of. We've got 14th position, water, king of water. Okay. So this is like a masculine, feminine kind of. Okay. Water is technically a feminine element, but king is a masculine title. So this is basically like the masculines getting in touch with their feminine sides and understanding where the femmes are coming from, not in a way that they learn how to deal with the femmes, but that they know how to apply it to their own life and their selves. Like learning from the feminines instead of like trying to understand them. Because if you learn how to do it, or you learn what it is, or you learn, how to, then you will understand why and what and the rest of that. So, um, the masculine's got to step into the feminine energy, because again, it's a goddess year and it's like half over. It's already Leo season. We got 7 more seasons to go before the year ends. I don't care about the calendar. Who even knows where that came from? I still like to celebrate New Year's Eve because it's fun, but like, you're telling me Jesus made that calendar? What the fuck does he got to do with anything? He's like, I was a fucking drug dealer. Y'all gotta let it go. And it's not blasphemous because I'm a confirmed Catholic. I'm allowed to believe whatever I fucking want about Jesus, right? That's kind of what they told me. So, I'm a confirmed Catholic, and I can just say, I'm sorry, and I'll still go to heaven. So full of loopholes. Anyways, oh no. A flu invaded organism. That's you. One time I had a flu so bad that I was like turning water into shit, and that's when I realized it was probably the Antichrist. And this is like literally coming up 5 minutes after I just called Jesus a drug dealer. So that's like extremely funny that I would admit that, and that you are even here considering your condition. I wish you well. Here's some healing vibes for you. I hope it was good. This is so funny, but also think of it as a purge, okay? Like, just think like you want to pass this virus or whatever you've got going on, then maybe you need to pass a few other things, and you've got some toxicity to unblock or things to address that you haven't addressed yet. I try to take sickness as a warning before it becomes something else. And that's why I like to stay in check with my emotional state and my emotional health as much as anything else, right? Cool. Let's see. 2, mind and body. That's literally what we were just talking about, is like your mind and your body, in order to be healthy, got to be in sync. And sometimes your mind signals its pain in your body, and vice versa. Your body signals pain to your brain. You're still here? Holy shit. Or you're back. Hi. Either way, it's been a great time. So you missed a little bit of the twin flame stuff. I don't know if it was your cancer or whatever, or if you were here for it. But yeah, so mind and body, they work in the same way with... Oh, what? Are we even talking about you? Anyways, yeah, connecting your mind and body and realizing they are one and they work reciprocally. Again, you are in pain. Your body's like, brain, my knee hurts, it's in pain. But also maybe your stomach is very much tied to anxiety, as your brain saying, body, help me. Brain can't understand brain. Brain can't help brain. Help me, you know. 2 again, mind and body. Connecting, making sure your head is where your home is, making sure that your heart is where your brain is, and making sure that you've thought about everything you're feeling instead of trying to shut one out from the other, even if what you're feeling is pain, right? Sometimes people get repeated injuries because they don't take their lessons in any other ways, and the universe resorts to like physical violence. Isn't that kind of funny? Not like in a domestic way, like that's fucked up. I would never just say somebody who's destined to experience that. That's messed up. I'm saying more like, oh shit, broke my arm or did this and that, where we are called to learn lessons. And some people walk into lessons unknowingly, and it's a question why we have to do them. And sometimes it's ancestral. It's encoded in our DNA. So, wow, I love science so much. I was literally just thinking about how DNA probably works. And, like, I haven't even gotten to that part of my life because I'm so busy doing all this other random stuff. But that's so cute. 3, 1, 2, 3, the father. So the thing is, back to the masculines once again, stepping into the position. You don't have to be feminine to step into your feminine side. You can be the father to the mother counterpart instead of being a fuckboy or a dickwad or what the fuck ever. You know what I mean? Like, you can be what you are meant to be and still take advice or learn things from your opposite. Like, I just feel like it's a long time, you know, it's like generational, ancestral. It's just been history, society, and the present systems in place is to be ruled by the masculine. And quite frankly, the masculines have never seen the feminine as their equal. And we are learning that lesson hardcore for the people who didn't learn it the first 1,200 times they experienced it in their personal life. They are now seeing it on a grander scale where they can do something as simple as change a law or take backsies on something that none of us agreed upon because of the stupid fucking system none of us bothered questioning because we could barely remember how it worked. Boom, that's on America. And that was not like supposed to sound the way it did when I was like boom. It was like mic drop kind of boom, not like a bomb drop kind of boom. But then it was talking about America, so it was like hard to say. I'm sorry. This got really out of control really quickly, but sometimes shit needs to be fucking said, right? Take your lessons before they take your blessings. That's basically, you know? Oh, somebody didn't like that. They're like, nah, fuck that noise. Okay? Be the person we need you to be. Don't be us. It's okay to admit that you have things to learn from this other person, from this female or feminine, right? Like, there's no shame in it. It's this weird thing where like men are so obsessed with what other men think, but they are like say they're chasing women. Um I actually love that subject change because these twin flame readings are basically just like men are endlessly infuriating, and some women and non binary people carry masculine energy and they can be equally infuriating. Keep doing your thing, femmes, and just ignore the shit out of them. It drives them nuts. As much as they want to annoy you, it annoys them more when you don't. So yeah, I don't know much about CERN. I kind of like in some of the groups I'm on and Reddit, like people brought it up, but I don't even really like know what it is. It's the particle thing. Maybe that's why I've been feeling so much energy lately, like in a I can't handle this kind of way. Yeah, let's talk about this if that's cool with everyone else. I was just channeling fucking aliens on this stream, so I feel like it's highly appropriate and very much. Maybe we can ask them what they think if you could explain it to us. And it all comes tumbling down whenever you're around. It's like New Age Blind Melon because it was after Shannon Hoon died, I think. Yeah, so I don't know much about it. I think it's kind of cool. I think that I feel like I ranted about aliens enough. Man, what the fuck are you on some shit for? Don't be blowing up my spot. No, I'm kidding. I'm not an alien. I'm a cop. That was like the most absolute ridiculous fucking statement I could ever fucking make because why would I even lie like that? You know what I mean? Definitely no one would ever believe that. Clearly 100% alien, 0% cop. That's weird I said it, but also Fox Mulder-esque energy. Also, maybe it was a channeled message where, like, it's Space Patrol more so than aliens, where they're also kind of wondering what the fuck's CERN. You kind of, like, just sparked, like, an point of concern for some extraterrestrials who do kind of monitor or police what we do on this planet. So if, what I'm getting is that it's better not to ask these questions. This one, I got it from my grandma's house. So it's cute, right? I also like the natural wood look. It's pretty, we're gonna paint them. But thank you. I don't love like the randomness necessarily, but it just is what it is to me. It's not the point. I almost wish you didn't point it out, but I also appreciate it, I guess. You're supposed to just look at me when we do these things, but also like I'm trying to be polite and look at other things and not just stare at you, right? Um, or like maybe I'm sick of your face, bitch. Blah. So I love how I just fluffed myself up when you're like, oh, you're paying attention to the background. Back to me. Okay, that's great. I love it. I love it. I'm glad you're so enthusiastic about it. It did feel like a little like a backhanded compliment because I'm self-conscious about it. That has nothing to do with you and everything to do with me. So thank you. Oh, you hi. Okay. Happy birthday. Woo. Um, cool. Are we gonna talk about aliens and CERN particles and stuff? Yeah, whenever you deem as like a God particle, man, that's such a ridiculous thing. I feel like these things definitely raises some concern and some flags for other life forms when humans experiment with things that they have not consistently accepted as a plausible reality is what makes it dangerous, because if there was a discovery, it would be mass panic before it was progress. You need to get to a point in society where people can fathom and accept these casual hypotheses before you can come to a full-blown theoretical conclusion as per your scientific method. You're telling me that to hurt my feelings. Kind of kidding. But also, I feel like I hear that. That actually makes some shit really make sense. And I don't want to talk about it, but I do want to pursue the idea that scientists don't always get good grades, man. And sometimes science is so far beyond our understanding because the whole point is that it is ever evolving. We literally live in an expanding universe and we accept that as universal truth, but we have a hard time grasping the concept of anything outside of ourselves existing anywhere off of this planet. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's hypocritical, but it is hypocritical. Even to believe in God, you think there's no trace of him? How does that fucking work? And then you still believe in heaven, but you think that you can't ever see God. It's like, no, you can't see God because you are not ready to see what God is. And that's some kind of neon monster that looks like a Ramin Nazir painting. You know? Holy fuck. Maybe my perception of God is different from someone else's, and that's not an ultimate vision of God. But when I saw God, that is the fuck what I saw. It was just like, I've always wanted to paint it, but then I found his art. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, quite honestly. I just know him from Instagram, and I don't even know if he's a painter or like a digital artist. But love his work, and that's like what God looks like to me. Is certain paintings he does. It's just really beautiful, but it's not some kind of traditional on the cross humanoid. It is way more alien and even less physical body than an alien. It's like Source, but it's like, what did you think Source would be when you are capable of comprehending the way technology works, but you're incapable of comprehending how your own reality could be created on a similar grid to what you've created in your existence. So true. I love science, dude. I just like could not get good grades. If I could study quantum physics for the rest of my life, I probably would, but honestly, I just like can't test that shit, man. What's the point? Like, don't give me grades. I just want to learn stuff. God damn. I probably will not read it. I really don't need any more doomsday information. I feel like I won't discuss how I think or feel about particular topics to an extent where we can have some fun, lighthearted discussions about it. But if I told you my personal beliefs and my personal opinion and my personal affect, it would be somewhat embarrassing and a little too revealing. So I appreciate the reference, and I hope anybody watching who's interested in the conversation definitely look into it, but I can't watch stuff like that. I've got enough going on in the same sort of field. It's like, oh, no, I didn't need to say anything or do much. I could tell when you smile. Amen to that. But if you feel a spark, do you not light a match? Is that how it ties back into the twin flame readings, if you will? Getting us back on track to the tarot before us. There's some cards and stuff for rolling dice. I am digging the conversation, though. It's not every day or with every person you get to talk about weird stuff like this. All of the subatomic pieces come together. That's what I think of when we talk about this. And unfold themselves in a second. The universe has always been a match, and we definitely are lighting fires. That's kind of the whole thing. The world was like on fire at a point, but sometimes you gotta burn it down to let it regrow. Should I get a new set of cards for this dice? Because we've gotten them all, basically. How are we feeling? I feel like I might go soon. It's been like 3.5 hours, and my breaks have been like all of 30 seconds to 2 minutes long. So, what's good? It's probably late as fuck right now. I feel like now that we are talking about this stuff, I have like work to do, but really it's probably sleep and learn stuff in my dreams. I love dreaming, and here's the thing. I have had vivid dreams that I remember to this day since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, in the craziest, weirdest, kind of creepiest way. And also, I guess I do say that I have a photographic memory, though sometimes if I smoke too much weed, which I don't typically like to do, but sometimes end up doing anyways, which sounds bad, and I know exactly what it is, which is why I keep myself in check and know the reality of my situations at all times. Has nothing to do with when I'm working, but everything to do with when I'm not working. But anyways, do kind of have a photographic memory, so it's natural that I would remember my dreams, but then sometimes I question, how much, that's what we were talking about, the influence of technology in correlation with the belief of aliens, and for me to have that kind of crossover moment where I often wonder if my dreams as a child were influenced by these television shows that I'm watching now, or if I'm having a similar experience because they were coinciding, though I don't have actual memories of watching the shows, but I lived during that time period, you know what I mean? That's really in depth, and I'm surprised I said that or admitted to it. Very random. I feel like it is maybe the end of the night. I feel like I could be tired enough to go call it quits. This has been so much fun. So very lovely. So fucking awesome. Yeah, it's like I don't even have a choice. This is maybe getting to be such a vast conversation. It's hard to stay on track. Maybe I'll just take a break from the cards for a minute. Wow, I'm glad I just said that. Oh. Yeah, that sounds like some alien technology if I ever heard some. What the fuck you mean, bro? It's literally like, yeah, that sounds like somebody like brought it to us from a really far distance, whatever the fuck's going on there. It's like no, I'm just rolling dice. This is like ASMR now. Let's get a code. Shall we play the lottery? Okay, write your numbers down. 28002243. Make it make sense. Oh man, no, this is genuinely a really fun conversation, but honestly, I'm 3.5 hours in and I think I'm hitting a wall and I think I gotta go. I think I'm enjoying myself, but I'm also exhausted at this point. And sometimes whenever I'm about to get a channel message, I will get like super tired because I need to close my eyes and be vulnerable for a moment to receive the message. But I just didn't want to rely on the tarot anymore. I feel like it's unnecessary with the channel messages, and it's almost misleading because people expect a reading, and it's like I'm in the tarot category because it's the only one akin to what I'm doing. Like it's not just straight up tarot. It's a blanket statement for something a lot more in depth because I often do use cards, and I still do tarot readings. If you want to go back to the beginning of the video, I did a traditional tarot reading with my Thoth deck, but dude, this is what I fucking live for, is shit like this. That's interesting. I've never heard about this. Yeah, that's why it's like I can't always change the subject. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind staying around for a few, but I had to put the cards away. I used 3 different decks. Yeah. And the channeling is, tarot can be exhausting, but I feel like channeled messages are like way more exhausting than like regular tarot. About none o'clock, because it's none of your business what time it is where I'm at. It's definitely late though. No offense, I just don't ever like to be too revealing. It doesn't have to be a thing. Yeah, very exhausted. It's just been a long emotional day. So let's just wrap it up by coming back full circle to the conversation that we started with, which was like the whole Lionsgate thing. Basically like opened up July 26th and closes August 12th. So we are experiencing like basically some of our deepest and long-running desires coming to surface, whether it's a person, place, or thing. It could be like a dream job or just like something you've always wanted to do in life, and it's been coming up. It's been on your mind maybe for a few months, so you've had plenty of time to think about it. It might be something that you've dealt with for years, and you are at this kind of crossroads where you're not really making a decision, but you are basically stating where your commitments lie and what it is that you want to dedicate your time and your life to. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it could be beautiful, it could be fun, but it could also be disastrous, and you really don't know. And it's like the less you doubt or fear or sabotage the connections that you find or the things that you are pulled to, the less likely it will go wrong for you. If you're only doing it because you feel you have no choice or because, you don't understand it, but it's annoying and you just want to do it, then of course it's not going to really work out to your favor. But if you're doing it because you genuinely believe it's what you're meant to do, of course it's going to go smoothly. Even if it takes a long time, even if it's something you don't quite realize, even if you might be really stuck on one idea, but then down the road you realize maybe it's actually this, maybe it's something else, maybe it's blah 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 blah. It's really wild. And sometimes, like, I don't know, I feel like people will say you only get one shot or one opportunity, but I don't think that's true. I think if you don't take the first opportunity, then you either are gonna get a second one or you won't. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't get a second opportunity, then you really weren't supposed to go for it in the first place. And if you miss your first opportunity and it's something you should have taken, then you'll get it again. You never have to really trip about it, you know? You don't really have to like stress. It's all in what you comprehend about your day to day. If you question everything and you question your decisions, you question your feelings, instead of just trusting them, going with it, or being able to understand it, then it's a sign that maybe you're not quite at the point where you really know, where you really are dedicated to anything. You know, it's more rogue, more freelance, if you will. So it's just some things to think about where this is sort of an energy of like wrapping things up. But again, the gates will open once more next year. So it's kind of like lock it in. This is the 10 year from 2012 is like end of the world stuff. So it's like a new cycle where um, there's just like these things that happen annually or whenever where I feel like every decade's a new cycle, and a lot of people would think it starts with the zeros or whatever, like 10, 20, 30. But we've seen time and time again on the calendars and such things that 12 is a very significant number, you know, like even 12 months and 12 zodiac signs. And even when you think about Christianity, how they say Jesus was more likely born in the spring and died in the winter, but they make his birth the 12th month, right? So 2012 being the time on the, it really is, because it's, oh God, yeah, agreed. And I love numbers. So there is definitely a significance to the number 12. So this is the 10 year where it starts with that, like it started over in 2012. And now we're in the new one, and this is 10 years in where it's still like, okay, it's been a decade, what's going on? And like some people, for most of us, I think it's not much, don't know. I just like woke up one day and was here and like I remember everything, but I don't really know. Like I remember it differently. Suddenly I'm seeing things for what it was instead of what they are. Yeah, but they didn't really necessarily come up with every concept of 12. That was like what I was getting at. It's like the Mayans have nothing to do with the Romans, and I don't think the Germans invented astrology necessarily. So I hear you, but also like there's a reason they, you know, were having those kind of like everybody's a little bit on the same page despite the fact that they have a difference in opinion and how it works. But the underlying principles is seems to be everyone inherently agrees on certain things that we don't register as being universal, right? Wow. Sometimes talking is so cool because it's like me being able to vent about random shit that's on my mind, and this is exactly the type of shit that's usually on my mind. Thinking about like deep ass shit. It's kind of irritating, but it's also entertaining. So it's like I find myself to rarely ever be bored, but sometimes it's like, man, I gotta get out of my head more because it's like too much fun in there, and then you just seem kind of like crazy and closed off, and then like, you know, human connection is so kind of fucking important that I can't just live in my own world in my own head all the time, right? Um, Sure, but also like the idea that it's prominent for the particular year in all calendars is sort of why I think it's like a generational or cyclical thing that is happening now as we see being in the 2022 year. It does kind of feel like the 10 year. I mean, maybe that's just me, but um, I remember a lot of things. It's just so funny. It's just so funny. I feel like, okay, think of it this way. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. Like, we've been playing the loop in our lives over and over again. And suddenly it's time to defeat the Jabberwocky. And this time you actually think you can do it for once and get the fuck out of Wonderland and go back home. You know? I love it. Yeah. I think on that note, I'm gonna go. I think I gotta go. I think I'm tired. This was great though. I really loved this. It's just sometimes if I ramble a little too much, I can tell that I'm exhausted. And I am the type of person who will just keep going. I'm hard to say goodbye to, stay on the phone. It's like sometimes I try, but it was a fun stream. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate all of you being here. Show some love if you really care. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night, good luck, and all that stuff. Until next time, which hopefully is soon. And if not, remember, I don't know when the next full moon is. It's probably right after the Lionsgate, but get your shit together, get your wishes in order, and come correct. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't even want to go, because I love entertaining this kind of conversation. But goddamn, am I fucking tired. It is the wee hours of the midnight morning, and I've been doing tarot for 3.5 straight. 5-second breaks. Literally take a couple minutes, if that, and then just come right back to it where it's like, yo, I gotta I gotta go. I'd say that I'd pop back on in a little bit, but like because it's so late, I don't even know if anyone would join me, but we'll see. I don't like to schedule. That's like the whole point of me working for myself and streaming and shit is like, I don't want to fucking be on a schedule. Leave me alone. I do things when I need to do them, and right now I am really fixated on this album and getting this project done by my own personal deadline, which is aligned with its own deadlines or whatever. And spiritually too, where it's just all so fucking beautiful, and I hope we all get to tell our stories and say it with our whole chest and sing and hug and dance again in the ways that we did in the old world, or whatever the fuck. Old world being like before 2016, because what the fuck is even going on anymore, man? The internet took over and everything got a little funky, didn't it? And now we got supercomputers trying to tell us what to do, telling us everything we ever need to know in the next 10 billion years. Cool. Way to make it not fun. We get it. We destroy ourselves. We go extinct. Heard. The planet don't survive. Cool. We needed you to take over. Otherwise, we wouldn't exist. Got it, coach. Blah. That's what I think. Fuck, man. Okay, yeah. See, I'm getting cranky. All right. Anyways. Thank you so much. It's been fun. Good night and luck once again. Blah, blah. Love you. Thank you. Good night.